That was the prologue. Oh, goodness. The next day, Rosa notifies Artem where she's going by text, then heads over to the detention center to meet Felicia Law. Yeah, you got a whole SR card story. That was, yeah. The information described in this, you can tell, like, I feel like this is where Themis is getting super serious, right? Oh, I'm so excited for the next several years, I guess, of however long they decide to stretch the story out. Maybe it's just 1 year because Luke is gonna die. I don't know. The information described in the post has been confirmed to be mostly true. The victim had been locked up in the basement for a long time. The exact cause of death is pending the autopsy report. The case is currently under investigation, and the police have yet to acquire conclusive evidence. Besides a talisman belonging to her being found on the victim's body, Felicia Law was arrested as a suspect because death threats sent by Felicia Law were found on the cell phone left outside the basement. Left outside the basement, though. Pick me for your sex experiments, not her. Yeah. The victim's name is Brad Grease, her ex-husband. Okay. I was like, this is all very circumstantial, a bit suspect. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, the evidence is not very. But then, if you have a relationship and a potential motive, I understand why. Her ex-husband. Okay. A Brad. Yeah. Yeah, Felicia Loyal was, like, you can tell by their names that Felicia was too classy for him. I'm already completely on her side because she's hot. Felicia Lowe gave that talisman to a lot of people, so it doesn't prove anything. But that message. Taking advantage of the pause, Felicia Lowe walks over casually and sits down opposite her.
오실 줄 알았어요.
I knew you would come. Stop flirting! You knew, so involving us was part of your plan?
그건 아니에요.
It's not that.
임기응변인 거죠.
It was just an inspiration.
당신을 잡은 건 우연히 그 부적이 그 남자 변호사님한테 있어서 그런 거예요.
Oh. The reason I grabbed your arm was because the other attorney happened to have the talisman.
그분은 두려움에 떨면서 절 찾아오지 않았잖아요.
He didn't have an ounce of fear when he came to find me, did he?
귀신을 믿지 않거나 본인의 안위를 딱히 신경 쓰지 않는 사람 같아서 그를 찾아가도 별 소용없겠더군요.
Either he doesn't believe in these things or he's used to ignoring his own safety. So there's not much point in asking him. He's used to... Both are true. Both are true. Both are true. Did you like having my hands on you? Artem frown intensifies. So much flirting. I love her. Dude, she's so pretty though. Look at her. The artist for Tears of Themis is just great. But I don't understand this. Why is she transparent? Look. The pattern on the wall behind her is also on her. She's a ghost. She's a ghost. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. After spending the night at the detention center, Felicia Lowe shows no sign of fatigue. Instead, she smiles at Rosa. Oh yeah, keep smiling like that. The last time we interrogated a hot lady in jail, it ended up super badly for the hot lady. Well, the hot lady had already been in a very bad situation, right? Wait, which hot lady? Wait, there are too many hot ladies. This game has a lot of hot ladies.
부적, 저주. 제 이야기가 벌써 여기저기 퍼졌겠네요.
Talismans, curses. I guess talk about me has exploded recently.
그쪽 동료가 걱정되죠?
You're worried about your partner, aren't you? I don't believe in those things either. I just want to know the truth.
진실이요?
The truth?
그건 제일 가치 없는 것이에요.
That's the most pointless thing.
절 도와주신다면 원하는 대로 다 이뤄질 거예요.
But if you're willing to help me, everything you want will come true. Behind the glass, she speaks mysteriously. Figuring her out only seems more and more difficult. Oh yeah, the mafia lady. The mafia lady was hot. And yes, things ended very badly for her. I don't associate with those with no futures. Artem is so hot. Sometimes Artem is like super hot whenever like a hot lady is involved, right? Like even in this case so far, he's been like super attractive. Oh, whoops, I didn't read. As your attorney, I would like you to tell me everything you know about this case in detail so that I may better help you. First, I need to confirm with you the most important matter. Did you have anything to do with the death of the victim found in the basement?
제가 한 거예요. 경찰에게도 그렇게 말했고요.
What? Oh my gosh. Rosa's job just got so much harder. I did it, and I already confessed to the police. Why is she so quick to confess to the murder when she kept quiet about the talisman? Felicia Lowe confesses without hesitation, then throws Rosa a disdainful glance, her tone more sarcastic than before.
예상 밖인가요? 제 기억으론 변호사님은 정의의 사도는 아니었잖아요. 선한 사람들 대신 목소리만 낼 뿐이지.
Let me see.
예상 밖인가요? 제 기억으론 변호사님은 정의의 사도는 아니었잖아요. 선한 사람들 대신 목소리만 낼 뿐이지.
Surprised? Lawyers don't carry out justice, but they can right a wrong.
정 못하시겠으면 그냥 그 남자 변호사님이라도 불러줘요. 뉴스 보니 얼마 전 비슷한 사건을 처리한 모양이던데.
If you're not capable, then call that male attorney. I saw in the news that he just finished a similar case. No need to trouble him. Not only has Artem had a lot on his plate, but everyone else in N2X has been busy with their own things lately. Under these circumstances, she also needs to have the courage and ability to stand alone. Okay. Rosa's like, I need growth. As long as you're willing to cooperate, I will ensure the maximum protection of your rights within the confines of the law. Yeah, okay. So I guess she's taking this now as they do still use their group chat. I guess she's taking this now as like one of those cases where the lawyer is not working to defend if someone's innocent or guilty, but just to make sure that their sentence isn't too harsh, right? And to make it fair, because I mean those people also have their own rights to things like that. So I guess that's the approach she now has to take. People have been checking in. Luke is definitely lying about his health. Yeah, I don't know if people are really checking in. I feel like it almost sounds, at least in the English, it sounds like almost like everyone has been too busy recently to say anything, because in chapter 9 they all just kind of like went, oh well, Vin has to take care of some things, and he obviously hasn't told her what it is. Oh, she did call him though in the last one. So they do, it's not that they check in, but definitely they're still reachable, right? It's not like he's gone completely missing, because Rosa called him last time in episode 9 in order to confirm her suspicions about Gerard, right? And obviously Marius, like, she knows what's going on roughly with that, right? So yeah, I guess they're at least still contactable, right? They're still able to contact each other. And at the beginning of this card, or this episode, we talked to Luke. Hi, AQ. Ohio. Are you on your way to work?
그래요? 너무 무리하지 마세요.
Really? You don't need to push yourself that hard.
묻고 싶은 거 빨리 물어보세요. 시간 없으니까.
If there's anything you want to ask, then you should ask it quickly. We don't have time. Okay, here we go. Brad Grease. I thought this said bad girls at first, and I was like, why are we asking her about bad girls? A sexy Catherine. Oh, that's an interesting take. According to the police, the victim is Brad Grease, your ex-husband, right?
맞아요. 그 애가 궁금하세요?
Yeah, you curious about him? Why does she sound like surprised? She's like, you care about that piece of... you care about that POS? She's definitely giving off ex-wife energy. Felicia Lowe snorts coldly and continues speaking without waiting for a response.
변호사 아가씨도 학벌값 못한다는 말 들어봤죠? 그 사람에게 딱 어울리는 말이에요.
Oh, have you heard the phrase educated with no ability? It describes him perfectly. Or that description suits him exactly. Like,
박사학위 있다고 연봉도 높은 회사에서 연구원까지 했지만
he may have had a doctorate and worked as a well-paid researcher at a top company. Another researcher. Yeah, she definitely has that tone. You're one of the rare people that finds Catherine attractive.
평소 일상생활에서는 그이한테 배울 점이라곤 단 하나도 없었어요.
But in our daily lives, he had absolutely zero redeeming qualities. It's fun to like try to match her tone, but in English. Because I love her tone. Her tone is so good. He had more real doctorates than Vin. It's not that hard. Artem has 2. Wait, does Artem have 2? Or does Vin have 2? I can't remember. And his pee-pee was tiny. Why do you say that?
왜냐고요?
Why?
이유야 많죠.
There were many reasons. Her disgust is more evident as the conversation progresses.
나가서 일할 때는 가족은 안중에도 없었고 갑자기 일을 그만둔 뒤론 아무것도 안 하고 빈둥거렸죠.
Even when he had a job, he didn't help out around the house. And after he quit his job, he still wouldn't lift a finger to help. Is that why she ended up setting up a stall, like on the streets? Man, poor Felicia. I feel for her. Also, look at the way she bites her lip. She looks so pretty. Oh, Vin has 2, and one is his honorary psych degree. Ah. Bum activity. Right? He forced his wife to open up a fortune-telling stall on the street.
책임감도 없고 겁도 많은 데다 비겁한 사람이었어요.
He was timid and cowardly, and he didn't take any responsibility.
평소에 쇼핑하러 가면 점원 태도가 안 좋거나 바가지를 써도
If we fell prey to a scam or met a waiter with a bad attitude,
앞에선 말 못하고 돌아서서 화내는 사람들 있잖아요. 근데 그이는 화조차도 못 내고 그냥 받아들이는 사람이었어요.
some people get angry, but they don't vent their frustrations. He, on the other hand, didn't even get angry. He just chose to accept it.
정말이지. 앞에 나서서 싸우는 건 항상 제 몫이었다고요.
Honestly, I was the one who always had to be the bad guy.
바퀴벌레만 봐도 호들갑을 떨던 사람을 어디에 써먹겠어요?
He even jumped at the sight of a cockroach. What use did I have for him? The more Felicia Lowe talks, the more agitated she becomes. She speaks so fast, there is no time for Rosa to interject. She throws a question back at her, but seems to be venting her frustrations. Rosa remains silent. According to Felicia Lowe, Brad Grease had many flaws, but those seem too trivial to constitute a reason for her to kill him. Yeah, she just got divorced, right? That's why she sold him to Jerome. Yeah, this is weird. She divorced him. That should have been enough, right? Fighting the electro pony? Okay. Motive for the crime. I'm curious. Felicia Lowe, you admitted your involvement in Brad Grease's death. What is your motive?
동기요?
Motive.
사실 단순해요.
It's actually quite simple.
예전에 그이가 먼저 다가오길래 제가 우리는 어울리지 않는다고 분명히 말했었어요.
I definitely told him when he hit on me that we weren't compatible.
그이는 공부만 하는 책벌레였고 저는 이른 나이에 사회생활을 하면서 많은 일들을 겪었거든요.
He was just a bookish nerd, but I'd grown up fast and started working early, so I've seen it all.
굳이 말하자면 우리는 완전히 다른 세상 사람이었어요.
If I was to say it clearly, we were people from two separate worlds. Well, then why did you marry him? Was it forced or voluntary?
하고 싶었어요.
I wanted to.
이유는 뭐 성실했으니까요. 그게 좋았어요. 그래서 처음에 경고해뒀죠.
As for the reason, he was honest, and I liked that. That's why I warned him from the very beginning. Felicia Lowe clenches her fist, her nails digging into her palm.
사귈 수는 있지만 만약 날 배신한다면 절대 좋게 끝나진 않을 거라고요.
We could date, but if he ever betrayed me, I would make sure that he wouldn't see the end.
멍청한 사람이었어요. 저랑 이혼하고 나서 조용히 숨어 살면 괜찮을 거라 생각했으니까요.
That stupid man. He thought that he could just go far away and hide from me after the divorce.
하지만 어디 그리 쉽겠어요? 약속을 어긴 대가를 너무 가볍게 생각했고 절 과소평가한 거죠.
But it's not that easy. He underestimated the cost of breaking his promise, and he underestimated me. Her reasons don't sound particularly strong at first, but they seem reasonable in her vengeful narrative. Yeah, that seems weird. But an important piece seems to be missing. According to your description, Brad Grease is an extremely timid person. Then why did he suddenly want to divorce you? Did he give any specific reason? He divorced her? Is that it? His promise to be a boring husband? Yeah, something more is up here. I think she's choosing to take the fall for some reason. She must have been coerced into doing it for some reason. I think she's going to end up having some kind of tragic story.
누가 알겠어요? 저한테 말할 용기조차 없던 사람인데 새로운 사랑이라도 생겼나 보죠.
Who would know? He didn't have the guts to tell me the reason, so he probably found someone else.
하지만 이유이 어떻든 전 결과가 중요해요.
But the reason isn't important. I think only the result is important. Felicia Lowe waves her hand coldly, not wanting to continue the topic. Yeah, no way he divorced her, or she's evil. Interesting. So she was willing to put up with this boring marriage, and he was the one who chose to divorce her. And then he went into hiding, and she killed him. Is basically what she's saying so far. But it's very strange. Or she's saying that it wasn't even like because he divorced her, but it was like, oh, he divorced me, so it must have been because of a woman, and that's why. It's like, it seems very forced. This seems like a very like forced line of reasoning, and I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. It would be nice to not have 3 out of 3 hot women in jail be murderers. Yeah. Recent whereabouts. Felicia Lowe, you might not know. There are even cases where people mistakenly believe they caused the victim's death when in fact someone else was responsible. As your attorney, no matter what you think, I have to ensure you receive a fair sentence. Oh, so that's a nice approach, right? Where Rosa's like, you may think that you killed him. So yeah, I think Rosa doesn't buy this either, right? Rosa doesn't seem to believe this. And I think she's trying to say like, maybe when she admitted or she confessed, I think Rosa, well, because she hasn't said how she killed him yet, right? Necessarily, right? But I think Rosa doesn't buy this. Maybe she's believing like something happened and she's blaming herself. We'll see though. But she seems to be blaming herself quite proudly, right? So that's kind of weird. As present, the police have not determined the specific time and cause of Brad Grease's death, but the autopsy report will come out sooner or later. Until then, I would like you to tell me exactly where you've been, and more importantly, what happened when you last saw Brad Grease. Don't worry, there is no audio in the interrogation room, only video. Unexpectedly, Felicia Lowe listens carefully to what Rosa says, but she soon reverts to her former indifferent, condescending attitude, not wanting to cooperate.
이혼한 뒤로 자취를 감췄어요. 못 본 지 몇 달이나 됐다고요.
It's been a few months since Brad divorced me and disappeared, or rather, after he whatever, it's okay, that's mine.
전 병원에서 딸아이 간호하면서 가끔 사람들 점이나 봐주며 지냈죠.
She has a kid! Tragic backstory. Maybe that's why she stayed in the boring marriage, right? I've been taking care of my daughter in the hospital. Occasionally, I'll go set up a stall in the street and tell people their fortunes. She also has a sick daughter. Wasn't Gerard's mother also hospitalized for a long time? Is it a coincidence? Yeah, this is... She's definitely a pawn somehow. Maybe Jerome promised something to help her sick daughter if she took the fall. Right? I think that might be how Jerome is sourcing his pawns, is by working in the hospital. But there is a huge hole in her response. If you haven't seen Brad Grease since the divorce, why did you admit that you had something to do with his death?
제가 범인이니까요.
Because I am the criminal. Isn't that a contradiction? How can you be the killer when you haven't seen him?
안 될 게 뭐 있어요?
Why not?
현장에 있던 그 부적 잊으셨어요?
Did you forget about the talisman left at the crime scene? Felicia Lowe speaks with a faint smile.
저주라는 걸 믿지 않으시는 모양이시군요.
It seems you really don't believe in curses. She thinks that her curse killed him. Is that what she's trying to say? She's trying to say that these curses are what killed him, and that's why she's saying she's the killer. But someone, this is weird. Yeah, he's definitely getting test subjects. Did you tell the police about the talisman?
맞아요.
Yes,
하지만 경찰들도 믿지 않더라고요.
but the police don't believe that either.
만일 제가 아니라면 아무것도 밝혀지지 않은 상황에서 현장에 부적이 있다는 걸 어떻게 알았을까요?
Think about it. If the police didn't divulge that information, how would I know about it?
때로는 보이는 대로 믿는 게 나을 때가 있어요.
For some things, it's better to believe in their existence. It'll come out, or when they come out. You can't help but frowning, or she can't help frowning. Oh my God, I can't. What was that sentence? Was it just me? Did I misread that? Oh, you can't help frowning. Okay, the butt was just made up. Rosa's intuition tells her that Felicia Lowe might not be telling the truth rather than believing in the so-called curse. Yeah. But at the point, what exactly is she trying to hide? Yeah, something is up. Something's weird. Luke claims he's the reason for every bad thing that happens to me, but that's just his depression talking. You stop doing the same shit. Yeah, exactly. What's going on with the talisman at the crime scene? I don't believe in curses. If you really want me to help you, please tell me the truth.
믿든 말든 그건 변호사 아가씨 자유예요.
You're free to believe whatever you want. Felicia Lowe fiddles with her nails apathetically.
그 일을 만나기 전부터 이 일을 해왔어요. 전만 볼 수 있을 뿐 아니라.
I'll say that I was in the business of fortune telling before I met him. And it's not only that I can predict things.
특별한 방법을 통해 운명을 바꿀 수도 있죠.
I could even change fate with special techniques. Oh.
결혼하고 나서 그만두려 했지만 감히 내 뒤통수를 때렸으니 저도 가만히 있을 순 없죠.
I wanted to give up the business after we got married, but since he wouldn't leave things be, I can't either. So by that, you mean a curse?
맞아요. 아가씨도 그 남자 변호사님이 걱정돼서 절 찾아온 거 아닌가요?
Yes, didn't you come looking for me because you were worried about that male attorney? I told you before, I don't...
안 믿는 거 알아요.
You don't believe in those things, I know. She looks intently at Rosa, her eyes filled with mockery mixed with pity.
저주가 뭔지 알아보지도 않았으면서 어떻게 그게 존재하지 않는다고 단정짓죠?
But you don't even know what a curse is. How can you be so sure it doesn't exist?
때론 급하게 부정하거나 비판하는 것도 두려움의 표시예요.
Oh. Rushing to deny or criticize things is a sign of fear. It seems she won't say anything about the talisman for now. It's meaningless to ask any more questions. Okay, daughter. Oh, this is wild. You just said that you've been taking care of your daughter in the hospital. How is she doing? Oh, her expression changed. At the mention of her daughter, Felicia Lowe's expression softens, her gaze dimming.
좋지 않아요.
Not well.
다 저 때문이에요. 제가 하늘의 뜻을 거슬러서 지병을 안고 태어난 걸지도 몰라요.
It's all because of me. It might be that because of all of the things that I did before that she was born with this illness.
지난달에 상태가 갑자기 악화돼서 언제 무슨 일이 나도 이상하지 않다네요. 지금도 중환자실에 입원해 있고요.
Her illness took a turn for the worse just a month ago. She's still under observation in the ICU. If that's the case, Rosa is overcome with confusion. Why would Felicia Lowe choose this time to take action against Brad Grease? This would leave her daughter uncared for. Yeah, this is all very sus. I think she's doing this because her daughter is being held hostage and Jerome says that he can help her. That's really obvious, right? Acute anime cancer. Maybe the reason for her revenge is related to her daughter's worsening condition. Indeed, she seems to know what Rosa is thinking, reverting to her indifferent appearance.
걱정 마요.
Don't worry.
간병인을 두었으니.
I hired a caregiver.
그리고 제가 없더라도 딸아이를 돌봐줄 사람이 주변에 있어요.
Even if I'm not around, there are people I can trust to take care of her. Really? Although she tried to cover it up, it's not hard to see that she really cares about her daughter. Of course. It's her daughter. Yeah, all of this is very strange, this whole conversation.
질문은 거의 끝났죠?
You're done with
그럼
questioning, right?
변호사님도 본분을 다하러 가세요.
It's time for you to go do your work. Okay. Felicia Lowe is in quite the predicament, but she doesn't seem to be in a hurry. Almost as if she's expecting all this to happen and it was going to turn out the way she wanted.
빨리 빼낼 방법을 찾아줘요.
Quickly find a way for me to get out of here.
그렇지 않으면
If not,
부족의 비밀도 당신 파트너의 안전도 보장 못해요.
I can't guarantee the secret of the talisman, and I won't be able to care about the safety of your partner. At this moment, Captain Morgan knocks on the door and walks into the interrogation room.
변호사님, 취조 시간 끝났습니다.
The interrogation, or sorry, the interviewing, whatever time has ended.
옆방 대기실에 기다리고 있는 사람이 있으니 가기 전에 뵙고 가세요.
There's someone waiting for you in the next room. Talk to him before you go. Ooh, is it Artem? Yeah, why confess if you want to not be in jail? I think what she's trying to do is get a lighter sentence. But like, yeah, the only thing that's going to get you out is bail, right? You literally need to just get bail. Entering the waiting room, and that's really hard when you've confessed to the crime, right? Like, you confessed to murder? They're not gonna let you out. So yeah, she's a little wild. Entering the waiting room, she spots a familiar figure sitting on the sofa. When she enters, he immediately gets up but maintains an appropriate distance.
어때요? 순조로워요?
How did it go? Was it hard? It was hard not to flirt. Yeah, why confess? Was the deal that she confessed? It must have been. I really think that must be it. I think the deal must have been she has to take the fall. To appropriate distance swing, right? I'm glad you caught onto that too. Rosa doesn't know why Artem is here, and there are many reasons that can be used to explain his presence. Wait, what? Okay, whatever. Does that mean that she just doesn't know which reason? Like, okay, whatever. Hesitating for only a few seconds, Artem stops the words before they reach her lips.
저도 이 사건 때문에 왔어요.
I'm also here because of the case.
나수영 씨가 비아냥거린다든가 협조를 안 한다든가 순조롭지 못하다면
If she's giving you a hard time and not willing to cooperate, or if there's something you can't figure out.
말해도 좋아요. 변호사가 꼭 홀로 싸워야 한다는 법은 없으니까요.
You can tell me. Attorneys don't have to fight alone. Okay, I think it's time for us to do... Yeah, we're gonna talk a bit. I think here will be like some... What's it? And then here is gonna be looking over the evidence. And then here... Huh? Oh, no. Here is the sexy card cutscene, whatever. Okay, let's see what happens next. Man, this is gonna be long. Okay. BRB unicorn. Fight the unicorn. I need to fight the unicorn too. But just one more time, I think. I think I just need to fight it one more time and then I have, all the materials. But then I need to go collect shells. In the end, Rosa can't pretend like she did in front of Felicia Lowe. Threats aside, she briefly repeats the conversation to Artem. Mr. Wing, it's obvious that Felicia Lowe isn't telling the truth. So I guess she didn't tell him all of the sussy, threatening stuff. Many people usually come up with a plausible lie to conceal the truth, but she doesn't even bother trying to hide it.
완벽하게 계획한 게 아니라서 명백한 허점이 있는 건 아닐까요?
She doesn't seem like that kind of person. Maybe her plan wasn't carefully thought out, so there were some flaws. Yeah, putting aside the obvious impossibility of the talisman's curse, her motive doesn't make any sense either. All right, time. I think it must be these two, right? Or
조급해하지 말고
am I supposed to find the like, hang on. I'm so confused.
조급해하지 말고 다시 천천히 생각해봐요.
Am I finding the contradiction or am I finding the Okay. Do this properly instead of blind guessing for primos, right? Actually, one of the rounds, I guessed everything correctly without meaning to. It was blind and it was really funny because I was like, wait, it's correct. I think this first one, I kept getting them all wrong. And then the next one, when eventually that comes up, it was all right. I thought it was really funny. I was like, oh, yay. The power of picking, like literally totally randomly. Felicia Lowe said the reason she attacked Brad Grease was that he betrayed her after breaking his promise. That reason alone can be considered a motive, but when you consider other circumstances, it seems a bit far-fetched. Felicia's daughter is seriously ill, and her condition suddenly worsened. She's still unstable. Based on her reaction, it's clear that she loves and cares deeply for her daughter. If that's the case, why would she leave her daughter? This condition requires her constant attention and seek revenge on Brad Grease.
맞아요. 정한성 씨가 이혼 뒤 집을 나간 건 몇 달 전이지만 딸이 위독해진 건 지난달이에요.
This is weird, yeah?
나수양 씨가 정말로 복수를 계획했다 하더라도 지금 이 타이밍은 아닐 거예요.
Even if Felicia was really planning revenge, she would have picked a different time. Yeah, she would have done it earlier. Unless Felicia's motive for the crime is related to her daughter, perhaps there was a dispute over medical expenses. ICU fees aren't cheap, and she would have had a hard time paying for them alone, especially with all those miscellaneous expenses. Yeah. I mean, she's literally working the streets.
말인데, 이것 좀 봐요.
In a different sense, right? If she's a loving mom, she shouldn't have time for murder. Or more like if she's so concerned about her daughter, she just wouldn't be worried about this, right? Like, she wouldn't have even thought of the murder. Okay, speaking of costs, as he speaks, Artem reaches into his briefcase to take out several copies of a property division agreement between Felicia Lowe and Brad Grease. She can be a modern mom. Yes, modern moms. We do have... Actually, that is the premise for a really fun movie called Kill Boksun. It's a Korean movie, and it's about an assassin who is also a mom. So literally, modern working mom who commits murder. Okay, according to the agreement, Brad Grease agreed to transfer the two properties under their names over to Felicia Lowe. Furthermore, he gave Felicia Lowe a large sum of money to cover child support and the medical expenses of their daughter. A modern working mom, the work is murder. It's true. It's really true. That's the whole premise. And it's actually a really fun movie. He wasn't a deadbeat. Yeah. It seems Brad Grease was left with nothing after the divorce.
네. 그래서 금전적 분쟁은 없었을 거예요. 이 정도 돈이면 당분간 치료비도 충분했을 테니까요.
Yes. So it's not likely that they had a financial dispute. This sum of money should be enough to cover medical expenses for a while. Strange. Then why?
서두를 것 없어요.
You don't need to rush. In stark contrast to her anxiety, Artem calmly pours her a glass of water.
여기 오기 전에 미림시 시립병원에 가봤는데 나수양 씨의 딸이 그곳에서 치료를 받고 있더라고요.
Before coming here, I paid a visit to the Stellis Public Hospital where Felicia Lowe's daughter is receiving treatment. Did you run into Jerome? Again with the Stellis Public Hospital. Well, yeah. Where did you guys get her? Like, how's her daughter doing now? Has her condition improved? Yeah, Artem already knew about everything. Artem is on top of it. Yeah, go look for Jerome. Artem sighs, shaking his head.
아직이요. 제가 만난 사람은 나수양 씨가 고용한 간병인이었어요.
No, the person I met, not I went to see, but the person I met was the caretaker that Felicia Lowe hired.
간병인의 진술도 나수양 씨 진술과 거의 같아요. 자주 병원에서 딸을 간호했는데 세심하고 인내심이 있었다고 해요.
Oh, she was a very loving mom. She confirmed everything that Felicia Lowe said. Felicia would often stay at the hospital to take care of her daughter, patiently and carefully. Yes, she met Jerome at the hospital because she met him when she went to see Macho Man. Stupid name.
하지만 그 간병인이 조금 이상하게 여겼던 건
But what confused the nurse was
나수양 씨가 가끔 전화를 받을 때마다 긴장하고 회피하는 듯한 부자연스러운 모습을 보였다네요.
Felicia Lowe would occasionally receive phone calls. When she did, she would look nervous and evasive, which was unnatural. Since Brad Grease was left with nothing, there is a little chance of a financial dispute. Felicia Lowe's motive is insufficient and doesn't hold. The most suspicious thing about why she went after Brad Grease would be the phone calls. The phone calls, did the police check her phone records?
엄반장님께 물어봤는데 상대가 경계심이 심한 모양이에요. 추적할 수 없게 전부 가상 번호를 사용했대요.
I asked Captain Morgan. That person was very, he says that person was very cautious. They used a virtual number that's hard to trace.
그리고 나수양 씨의 혐의가 워낙 크다 보니 경찰도 다른 사람을 조사하지 않은 것 같고요.
The police are focusing their investigation on Felicia Lowe because she's the most suspicious. Is that so? As the truth becomes shrouded in mystery once more, Rosa can't help but sigh. But Artem would never be hindered by any obstruction. He gives her the same advice in a serious but kind tone.
이 길이 통하지 않는다면 다른 길로 가면 되죠.
If you're having trouble, try looking at things from another angle. In Korean, the line is actually this. If something is like, I think he's saying like, if something is blocking your way, then try going at it from a different way, like a different road.
이 길이 통하지 않는다면 다른 길로 가면 되죠.
Yeah. If this road isn't working out for you, then try taking a different one. That's nice. I like that. Jerome cross-dressing.
가요. 엄반장님과 함께 사건 현장에서 증거 수집을 할 수 있도록 요청해 뒀어요.
Yeah, it's good advice. Let's go. I apply for crime scene access with Captain Morgan's supervision so we can gather more evidence. Yep, they're detectives again. Sure. I mean, to be fair, like, good lawyers do need to try and do some of like the legwork, I think, like for a fuller picture. But that's gotta be hard, right? Because it's their job to also know so much about the law. And like that's why they're being paid, is to look through the books, which is also a form of investigation, right? So Artem supporting her from the background, unicorn number 3 time. Are you waiting for resin to refresh or are you using fragile resin? You must be using fragile, right? Rosa pulls herself together at once and follows him outside. What team are you using with your new Viet? I have decided to give him a premium cope comfy option. My personal choice is that. Even if you don't know what happened at the strange crime scene, if she's able to figure out what happened, she might uncover the truth that Felicia Lowe tried to cover up. Okay, it's time to go see the place with the dead rat and the dead... Oh, man. Huh? Wait a minute. We're not following Rosa right away. Okay. Oh, this is the glass. I see. Sorry, it took me a moment. I thought this was the pattern on the wall, and I was like, they're see-through. But I realized now this is a pattern that's on the glass. Okay, that makes more sense. The dead dad and dead rat, yeah. Okay. Through the impenetrable glass window, Harper looks cautiously at the man that doesn't seem to be a local.
긴장할 필요 없어요. 심리 평가는 이미 끝났으니까요.
You don't need to worry. Your psychological evaluation is complete. What is up with Vin? Maybe we'll see what Vin is doing now. You're farming with Linny? Nice. Are you trying to raise his friendship level? Where's he at right now? Hearing this, Harper lets out a sigh of relief. Upon seeing the man remain seated with a smile, she can't help but tense up once more.
더 궁금한 거 있으세요?
Is there anything else that you want to know?
정한성이라는 이름을 들어보셨나요?
Have you heard of the name Brad Grease?
당연하죠.
Of course. Harper has been in the detention center for some time, which means that she doesn't know about his death. Furthermore, she responds to Vin's question almost out of habit.
정한성 씨의 딸은 어릴 때부터 몸이 좋지 않았어요. 거의 병원에서 크다시피 해서 그 부부도 자주 봤죠.
His daughter has been in poor health since she was a child and basically grew up in the hospital. Because he and his wife visit often, I've seen them at the hospital.
병원 환자들이 하간호사를 높이 평가하더군요. 모두를 잘 보살피는 좋은 간호사라고요.
The patients in the hospital speak highly of you. They say you are a good nurse and take care of everyone. Okay. Oh, this is Harper. This is the nurse that murdered Tyson. Tyson Turner, whatever his name is. I forget his name already. And also murdered Gerard Boone's mother. Oh, wow. Friendship level 6. That's so cool. That means you must have many voice signs. Fisho, Nahida, and Baiju. Very safe team. Is she? Yeah, she's from the last case. She's that nurse. And she was the one who was violating HIPAA instead of Vin last case. Also, it's very fun to remember because I'm pretty sure this is his voice, right? This is this is Scaramouche's voice and also Gepard's voice. So it's just so like the range this man has. If I'm pretty sure it's the same voice actor to be doing Scaramouche, Gepard, and Vin. And also Lloyd from Spy Family. It's just so entertaining. Yeah, the character range, right? Just like, wow. They say you're a good nurse and take care of everyone.
하간호사 기준에서 정한성 씨가 딸을 어떻게 대한 것 같나요?
I would like to know by your standards how he treats Bridget Grease. Her name is Bridget. Not Bridget. Bridget. Felicia, you had such a beautiful name. Why would you name your daughter this? I apologize to any Bridgets out there.
윤 선생님이 정한성 씨 딸 이름도 아세요?
You even know his daughter's name?
네, 인연이 좀 있는 사이라.
Oh, yes. We have some connections. Like, not like I have some connections to knowing her name, because this sounds like in English, which is weird. But it's more like we are somewhat connected. We are somewhat, like, related by fate. Vin speaks in an ambiguous and mild tone. Yeah, it's very ambiguous. Harper gets nervous and unconsciously bites her lip.
정한성 씨는 내향적인 사람이에요. 말수도 적고 아내와 딸한테 무척 잘해줬죠.
He's an introvert and he doesn't talk much. But he's good to his daughter and his wife.
딱 한 번 사람들 앞에서 불같이 화를 낸 적이 있었는데 그건
There was only once that he blew up in public, and that was because
왜 그랬죠?
of what?
그건 태양이가 몰래 병실에 들어와 정한성 씨 외투에서 돈을 훔친 적이 있거든요.
Because he caught Gerard trying to steal money from his jacket. They have a connection too.
화가 머리끝까지 났었지만 경찰에 신고는 안 해서 어떤 기록도 남지 않았을 거예요.
Oh. Even though he was angry, he didn't report it to the police, so there isn't any. That's why there isn't any record of it.
알겠습니다.
I see.
협조해 주셔서 감사합니다.
Thank you for your cooperation. That voice, the voice that he just used right now, actually, yeah, now I know it's the right voice actor because he sounds just like Gepard.
알겠습니다. 협조해 주셔서 감사합니다.
Okay. Phoenix Wright has someone named Shelly D. Killer. The daughter's name is Plute de Vis. What? Better her name was Minnie Luck. Oh God, Minnie Luck. Then nods deep in thought.
가기 전에 묻고 싶은 게 하나 더 있는데
Before I go, I have one last question.
왜 백은우 씨에게 의뢰한 거죠? 재판이 불리해질 거란 걸 알고 있었나요?
Why did you ask Artem Wing to be your attorney? Did you realize the trial would not turn out well? Not gonna lie, the Artem Vin ship is starting to sail a little bit. It's at the level of like Luffy's raft. Pickpocket plot device. Wow. You can't just call him out, right? Oh my gosh. Harper is stunned, not expecting Vin to mention a name that doesn't have anything to do with him. Wow, they are really keeping their relationship under wraps, aren't they? However, her eyes are filled with a puzzled look at the question.
윤 선생님, 만일 제가 그분께 변호를 부탁할 정도로 돈이 많았더라면 밤낮으로 일할 필요도 없었을 거예요.
Dr. Richter, if I had had the money to hire him, I wouldn't be in the hospital working day and night.
그때는 백 변호사님이 먼저 찾아오셨어요.
Mr. Wing was the one who sought me out.
왜죠?
Why?
그렇게 하지 않으면 제가 죽을 수도 있다고 하셨어요.
He said if he didn't, I would probably die. Duh. Oh my god. What is happening? Vin, stop fishing for compliments about your boyfriend. Vin and Artem are the spiciest pairing. Yeah, they're a fun pairing. Eyes narrowed. He asked you out. Good morning, Joshi. How are you? Very cute Kotoki emoticon. We are doing Tears of Themis again. I am doing a very wild main story chapter. The main stories, by the way, in Tears of Themis are nothing, because I think you were here yesterday for the cute Artem card. The main story is not like those cards. The main story is typical Hoyoverse. Children are dying, being abused. There's murder. There's like drug abuse. Main story is wild. So yeah, just warning you. Artem got her in jail to save her. Yeah, I guess he put her in jail to save her. Yay, last unicorn. Yeah, there's people dying in this one. Typical Hoyoverse. Very typical Hoyoverse. There are like child sacrifices. I don't know. Actually, yes, there was in an event. There was multiple events. Multiple events. Children were experimented on and sacrificed. Oh my god. This is nuts. Okay, anyway, sorry. That's the game. This is the Otome game that I've chosen to commit myself to. Yes, there's an epic five-way. Vin barely makes it a few steps out of the detention center when he is blocked by a male student. Oh! Is it the same student? Do you think it's the cross-dressing boy? Yes, I just said that. The student looks a little disheveled, but is evidently in a good mood.
윤 교수님,
It is him!
고생 많으셨어요. 저를 위해 여기까지 와주셨네요.
Professor Yoon, thank you. It's so kind of you to come here for me.
네?
What? Vin, who are you?
윤 교수님이 아니었다면 전 지금쯤 아직 갇혀 있었을 거예요.
If it wasn't for you, I'd still be locked up.
그까짓 장난 가지고 거기 변호사들은 죄다 일벌인 거 좋아한다니까요.
It was just a harmless prank. Why did they make such a big deal out of it? Do the attorneys here just like causing trouble or something like that?
전 모르는 일입니다.
I don't know anything about that. Vin, who was forced to stop, interrupts the male student's endless chatter. Yes, I can't care less about you.
볼 일이 있어 오는 길에 들른 겁니다.
I just happen to have some errands to do in the area.
이렇게 빨리 나올 수 있었던 건 상대가 추궁할 시간이 없었기 때문이에요. 아니었다면 이렇게 쉽게 풀려나지도 않았을 거고요.
You were released so quickly because the other party chose not to press charges. Otherwise, it wouldn't have ended so well for you. Yeah, prison is not a good place for men in dresses.
그리고 너무 안심하지는 마세요. 학장님도 아셨으니 퇴학당하지 않기만을 빌어야 할 겁니다.
Yeah, he does know what's up, but I guess he doesn't care about him.
그리고 너무 안심하지는 마세요.
Oh.
학장님도 아셨으니 퇴학당하지 않기만을 빌어야 할 겁니다.
Okay. In Korean, he says instead, but you shouldn't feel so reassured. You should go beg the dean to let you keep studying at the university.
학장님이라면 윤 교수님이 절 위해 학장님까지 뵈러 가신 건가요?
The dean, you went to see the dean on my behalf? Wow, this guy is delusional. Wow. Faced with a male student whose confidence surpasses that of ordinary people, Vin can't help but give him an incredulous look. Yeah, man, this kid. Oh, wow.
그쪽을 위해서요?
For you?
윤 교수님, 저는 알아요. 더 말씀하실 필요 없어요.
Oh, no. He was lying when he said he didn't swing that way. He was lying so much. Professor Richter, I already know. You don't need to say anything else. Oh, God. Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God. This is incredible. This is nuts. What are we seeing right now? Yeah, Vin, you definitely deserve this. Considering the person is still a student, Vin holds his tongue, then walks quickly to his parking space without saying another word. He's like, I don't have time to deal with this. This is someone else's problem. Yeah, this child is forcing a student-teacher romance on him, and Vin is just like, nope. Seeing this, the male student follows. No! What is happening? Oh my god.
윤 교수님, 휴대폰 배터리가 나갔는데 돈도 한 푼 없거든요. 가시는 길에 저 좀 태워주시면 안 될까요?
This is how a murder mystery starts. Professor Richter, my phone's out of battery and I don't have any money. Can you give me a ride?
그쪽으로 안 가요.
I'm not going that way.
네? 아직 어디로 가는지 묻지도 않으셨...
But you haven't even asked where I'm going.
지하철을 타면 어디든 갈 수 있겠죠.
You can take the subway anywhere. With a cold demeanor, Vin opens the car door and tosses a few coins at him. That should be enough to get him anywhere in Stellis.
참, 며칠 전에 테미스 변호사 사무소에서 장난쳤을 때가 몇 살이었죠?
How old were you when you decided to pull a prank a few days ago at Themis law firm?
네? 21살이요. 왜 그러세요, 교수님?
21 years old. What about it, Professor Richter?
알면 됐어요. 창피한 줄 아세요.
As long as you know, that's enough. You should be ashamed of yourself. With that said, he immediately shuts the door and drives away without looking back. I don't swing that way. I'm not having car sex with you. Right. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm busy kissing Artem. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, this is nuts. This is so funny. Go beg for handouts from someone else. Yeah. Oh my god. This kid does not get it. I bet he doesn't even understand this, right? Oh, we get to look at evidence. Oh yeah, the crime scene. Now, finally, we get to go to the dead rat place. Oh no. And thus, Crossdresser Boy develops the urge for murder. I bet he tries something against Artem again. Oh my god. That was wild. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, is very entertaining about this is that they could have made that a girl. Do you know what I mean? Like, they could have made that a girl, but they chose to make it a boy. But they were like, here. Artem, are you still going to say no homo? Brad Greaves' body was found in a basement from residential areas. Oh, far from residential areas. Though abandoned, many of his personal belongings and signs of him having lived there remain in the basement. That seems to confirm the divorce left him with nothing. He lived in this basement, and his only pet was a rat. Yeah, he lives here and he lived there and he was locked in to die. Oh my god, this is nuts. This story. Oh, the food is very hot, so all right. In addition, he lost his source of income after quitting his job. All that's left, especially cash-strapped. All of this left him especially cash-strapped. Hence the choice to live here. Captain Morgan, when bread grease was discovered, was this place completely sealed?
네. 자물쇠도 경찰이 현장에 도착해서 부순 거예요.
The door was pried open by the police when they arrived.
구체적인 사인은 부검 결과를 기다려야 알겠지만 1차 현장 검증 결과로는 이곳에 갇혀 있었던 것 같습니다.
We're still waiting for the autopsy report to confirm the cause of death. However, a preliminary case investigation of the crime scene indicates that Brad Grease was left here to die, or was locked in here. Okay. Captain Morgan walks over to the two of them, waving a document that the police officer in charge of the crime scene had found.
아까 문서 파일에서 찾은 건데 한번 보시죠.
Take a look at this thing that I found in a pile of documents. A personal accident insurance policy. Yeah, he didn't win that. He didn't win. But I think he also, like, it looks like she didn't really win anything either. I think they both were just like, all of this is going to go to our kid, which is very sad, right? Just watch them reveal that, because the thing is, if she didn't like him this much, but they stayed together, they must have really loved their kid. And I feel like he was also pushed to divorce her. Right? If it turns out that they were at least like very much on the same side when it came to like their kid, that's so sad, right? According to the insurance policy, the policyholder is Brad Grease and the beneficiary is Felicia Law. Oh, that's damning evidence, right? Because she needs the money for her kid.
사례가 포함되어 있어서 사고 사망 시
Yeah, he was still a
보험금을
decent dad.
지급하는
Everyone says so.
일반적인 건강보험과는 다릅니다.
You know, everyone says that he was like a good dad, if not a great husband, right? Like he clearly cared a lot about his kid. Even Nurse Harper, who has not like... Nurse Harper honestly seems like a pretty decent person, just a little warped, right? Like she said that he was a good father. So, this is no ordinary health insurance. A huge settlement will be awarded in the event of accidental death, including murder. It's true. If she didn't think he was a good parent, then she would have murdered him. It's true. Yeah, BS. What kind of...
대건우 씨, 지금 의뢰인에게 아주 불리한 상황이에요.
Yeah, things aren't looking good for your client.
두 분을 믿지만 그래도 한마디 드리겠습니다. 조사는 괜찮지만 사실을 왜곡하려 하지는 말아주세요.
Oh, Captain Morgan's taking a stance against them. Not against them exactly, but he's like... Yeah, he clearly thinks he knows what's happening here, right? Who includes murder as accidental death? I trust in your integrity, but I have to warn you, investigate all you want, but don't try to distort all the facts. Wow. Artem turns his head to look at the dark basement, which exudes a pungent smell and shows evidence of the victim's struggle prior to his death. He nods in response to Captain Morgan's stern warning.
걱정 마세요, 엄반장님. 법 앞에서 목소리를 낼 수 있는 건 증거뿐이니까요. 그 누구도 누명을 쓰지 않도록 하겠습니다.
Oh. I love Artem. Rest assured, Captain Morgan, evidence is the only thing that matters in the eyes of the law. I will not treat anyone unjustly, nor allow anyone to be treated unjustly.
그녀의 의뢰인인 만큼 더더욱 그럴 일 없을 겁니다.
Wow, he corrected him. Wait, listen. Because at first, actually, when he said this, things aren't looking good for your client. I was like, isn't this Rosa's client? Isn't this technically Rosa has taken on full responsibility for this case? Artem's kind of here as a helper. And
그녀의 의뢰인인 만큼 더더욱 그럴 일 없을 겁니다.
Yeah, and this kind of thing won't happen because this is her client. He's like kind of like gently correcting him. Captain Morgan says nothing else and motions for a police officer collecting evidence to follow him. Yeah, Morgan, don't assume. My friend, today I am the assistant. Indeed, indeed. Love it. We love a supportive man. Okay. Always start with the body. You didn't have to tell me about your kinks. Oh my god. At the bottom of the small window is where the police drew the chalk line. According to the location, he was looking out the window when his life ended. A small window provides a glimpse of the outside world from the basement. He must have tried to escape when his death was near, right? Artem looks at the window, contemplating.
나수양 씨를 범인으로 지목한 그 부적은 어디에서 발견된 거죠?
Where was the talisman used to incriminate Felicia Lowe found?
정환정 씨의 기도에서 발견되었습니다.
Stuffed in his throat. It was definitely done after then, because when we saw him at the beginning, he was still like calling out. But ouch. I thought it was his mouth, but it was stuffed down his throat. Jesus Christ. Hang on. Is it throat in Korean?
정환정 씨의 기도에서 발견되었습니다. 정환정 씨의 기도에서 발견되었습니다.
Kido? I don't know that word, but I don't think it's mouth. Yeah, he was yelling and clawing at a door. The police officer hands a photo of when they were collecting evidence. Although the talisman was wrinkled and even wet, the characters are barely legible. Is it the same talisman?
맞을 거예요. 양식이나 글자가 제가 갖고 있는 것과 비슷해요.
He's still carrying it around. He never could swallow. No! Don't. Not like that. Why would it appear in Brad Grease's throat? If the killer put it there, doesn't it contradict the fact that she's the most suspicious? After all, even if she's the beneficiary, she won't be able to get any money.
네.
Yeah, if she commits the murder.
현재로서는 나수양 씨를 지목할 만한 증거가 충분하지 않아서 자백은 그저 일방적인 주장일 뿐이에요.
Yeah, this is weird. I think... Yeah, this is very weird. Like, if all it takes to have really bad accidents is to have the talisman, she doesn't need to go as far as to shove it down his throat. Unless she's trying to get rid of evidence somehow that way. But the body is clearly where they would investigate.
그 전화 잊지 마세요. 이 사건에 제 3자가 있을 수도 있어요.
Don't forget that phone call. There could be a third person involved. Yeah, indeed. Exactly. I'm sure there's a clause that says we don't pay out if the beneficiary is the cause of death. Yeah. Like, no matter how, like, even if murder is included, there's no way. She's already inspected that. Better move on to the next thing. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I read it automatically and then realized, oh, it's telling me that I need to move on to the next thing. Sorry, my bad. Oops, cancel. Okay, let's see what this is. Oh, what's this? Why is there a certificate and a trophy here? In the scattered cardboard boxes, a red certificate resembling an award stands out next to a trophy. Picking it up, it reads, organ donor. Based on the date, it happened recently. Why was there was so much on his plate? Why did he suddenly want to become an organ donor? Because he knew he was gonna die. I don't know, man. This is getting more and more mysterious.
합의서에 의하면 정한성 씨는 생체 신호 모니터링 팔찌도 받았다네요. 아마 이것 때문이 아닐까요?
According to the agreement, Brad Grease received a monitoring bracelet. That's probably why he did it. A monitoring bracelet? One that keeps track of your vital signs?
네. 장기 이식에는 골든 타임이 있어요. 이 팔찌는 착용자의 생체 신호를 상시 확인할 수 있고.
Oh. Hang on. There are specific time frames in which organs must be transplanted. This bracelet monitors the wearer's vital signs in real time. So maybe this was just a way for the person who was really going to choose him to track when he would finally be dead, right? We have one of the Harrison ones. So maybe it's to like see when he would die, so that they could come, and they could stuff the talisman into his throat.
착용자가 사망하면 곧바로 관련 기관에 보고돼요.
In the event of the wearer's death, the bracelet will instantly inform the relevant organization.
하지만 보통 독거 노인들이 이런 팔찌를 받아요. 장기 기증과 함께 사후 관리까지 해주길 바라면서요.
But people who get them are usually elderly people who live alone and want the organization to take care of their affairs while making a contribution. I see. Yeah, that makes sense, but he definitely did that for that reason, right? Nowadays, there are many lonely deaths that happen in society. It does help to avoid the possibility of no one knowing that you died. Maybe if you like never have any presence anywhere, but if I like genuinely think about it, I think it would be hard for people to not notice if I died. Even if I died alone. Because like I have set schedules for things. I'm constantly online. Somebody would probably notice a little earlier. But Brad Grease was still young. Why would he be thinking about that?
그래서 경찰관님, 사건 현장의 최초 발견자가 장기 기증 기관의 담당자라는 말씀이시죠?
Officer, was the organ donation organization the first one to be notified? I think they mean specifically for organ donors. Yeah. But the organ donors do it specifically. Like they're saying that like people are doing this specifically so that they can also get their, like it's not like just because they want to be an organ donor. They're like signing up in order to make sure that someone knows when they die. Which makes sense for elderly people because it can be hard to like get in touch with them, right? Especially elderly who might live alone.
네, 기관 담당자의 신고 전화를 받고 문을 따고 들어온 거예요.
The police responded to a call from them and broke into the basement. I'm trying to see what stands out. Let's see the view. Rosa looks up at the small window, the only connection to the outside world. Light passes through. In the dim basement, it looks unusually gentle yet mocking. Was the window closed when the police arrived?
네, 창문은 밖에서 잠겨 있었어요.
Oh, the window is latched on the outside.
하지만 열려 있었다고 해도 난간 틈이 너무 좁아서 사람이 나갈 수 있을 정도는 아니에요.
But if the window was open, there isn't enough space in the railing for a person to get through. And he was clawing at the door.
게다가 너무 외져서 큰 소리로 구조 요청을 해도 들을 수 있는 사람이 없었을 겁니다.
It's so remote here that it's impossible for anyone to hear someone yelling. The chances of rescue are slim. So the entire basement was sealed off. It looks like there's an air duct at the top. Does it lead outside? Is there a bathroom in this basement?
확인했었는데 옆 지하실이랑 연결된 관이에요. 거긴 오래전부터 막혀 있었고요.
We confirmed it's connected to another basement next door, which had been completely blocked off a long time ago.
경찰관님, 창문이 밖에서 잠겨 있던 거면 자물쇠에 지문이 남아 있었나요?
Since the window latches on the outside, are there any prints on
아무
it?
지문도 발견되지 않았습니다.
No fingerprints were found. Yeah, there's a next door basement.
누군가가 일부러 지은 것일 수도 있지만 얼마 전에 이 지역에 큰 비가 몇 차례 와서 빗물에 씻겨 나간 것일 수도 있어요.
It might have been wiped down, but there's a heavy rain in this region, so we can't rule out the possibility that fingerprints were washed away by the rain. Yeah, it's not a normal residential zone. Any more clues here? Okay, next area. The daily expenses are recorded meticulously. He was in worse financial situation than thought. Oh, this is the door! Rosa hadn't paid much attention to the door on her way in. She only notices the tools scattered near the door, probably from when he tried to pick the lock but failed. Oh. Upon closer inspection, she notices obvious signs of struggle with several deep scratches on the door. Where did these marks come from?
정환정 씨가 발견되었을 때 열 손가락 모두 끝이 닳아 있었어요.
When he was discovered, his fingers showed signs of abrasions.
감정 결과 문에 생긴 흔적 중 일부는 정한성 씨 본인이 긁어서 생긴 것으로 보입니다.
After examination, it can be concluded that the scratches on the doors originated from his fingernails. How much strength would that take? Sensing her distress, Artem walks to the door and deliberately blocks her view. Oh,
이 문은 안에서도 밖에서도 잠기는 건가요?
can this door be locked from both inside and outside?
네. 현장은 잠긴 상태로 처음 발견되었어요.
Yes, the door was sealed off when the police arrived.
하지만 열쇠는 못 찾았는데 아마 범인이 처리한 듯합니다.
But we weren't able to find a key anywhere, so it's possible that the killer disposed of it. Packs? I can't believe that that's not something that we should look at. Oh, here. Why this set of books? On the shelves are scattered items and books. While rummaging through them, Rosa comes across a document with a flower logo. It's the same logo. She's seen on Jerome Adams' white coat. Yeah, Artem is very sweet. Mr. Wing, take a look at this. If I recall correctly, this is the Gladiolus Valley Research Center logo.
네, 맞아요.
Yes, you're right. Artem reads over the document again.
약물 연구 데이터에 관한 기록이네요. 자세한 건 전문가가 봐야 알 수 있을 것 같아요.
Yes, the name drop. It seems data recorded in information related to drug research. Only pharmaceutical professionals can understand it. Yeah, the Stellus flower. Pharmaceutical professionals. I remember Felicia Lowe said that Brad Grease was a well-paid researcher at a top company. Could that company be Gladiolus Valley Research Center? Faced with this previously missed information, Rosa immediately consults Captain Morgan, who is talking with the officers present. In the end, she receives an affirmative answer, as expected.
엄반장님, 경찰 측에서는 이 문서를 분석해 봤나요?
Captain Morgan, has the police analyzed this document?
아직 그럴 계획은 없어요. 현재 금난 계곡 연구센터를 가리키는 증거가 없습니다.
There are no plans to do that since there is no evidence pointing to Gladiolus Valley Research Center.
저희도 정한성 씨 이직 상황에 대해 조사해 봤는데 서로 협의하에 이직을 결심했더군요.
We've also investigated his resignation. It was a peaceful departure without any disputes.
이직한 이유가 뭐였나요?
What was his reason?
아픈 딸을 간병하느라 일을 할 수 없다고 한 모양이에요.
He said he needed to take care of his sick daughter.
알겠습니다.
I understand. Okay. You know, my memory is really awful because obviously I would have had to clear this area as well and click through it. But I don't remember anything I'm supposed to click on. I'm just poking around. Oh. Was the cup shattered by accident from when he drank water from it? Yeah, you did it with your eyes closed. The thing is, like, I don't even do it with my eyes closed, but my memory is just so bad. I don't remember anything. And I probably should at least try to do that so this process is faster. But I'm afraid of reading things, so I'm just like, yeah. Yeah, my eyes aren't completely closed, but I definitely like don't pay attention. I just click through until I get to the end. And it's like, you found everything. And I'm like, okay. On the bottom of the red cup is candle wax, which means, or the cup is red candle wax, which means the cup must have been on the workbench. Given the time span, if the cup was broken earlier, the water in it would have evaporated long ago. But suppose somebody wanted him to die a slow death in the basement. There's no reason to prepare a cup of water for him, right?
일리가 있네요.
Given his state of mind at the time, it's also possible he broke the cup to vent his emotions. The basement itself was a complete mess, and a broken cup seems unsurprising. The tool rack is organized. Reminds me of Artem's desk. There are so many things here. How do they keep them so organized? Ask Artem for advice later. So random. Blueprints for something. It looks like a wooden horse toy. Was he planning on making it for his daughter? He loves his daughter and thinks of her even when she's not around. I mean, that's really sad that, like, that's her standard. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Hopefully you remember you have a daughter even when she's not around. It contains a few changes of clothing. A man's closet filled with dust. here. I can't believe that this isn't something. Unless this is the wooden horse she was talking about earlier. That's not a horse, Rosa. Horses don't look like that. This game also doesn't know what a horse is. On top of the workbench are some burnt candles. By the way, in Korean, the name of the horse that we fight for Nuviet, that is actually called a kirin in Korean. So it's actually, it's like, I mean, it's the translation is just kirin in Korean. So yeah, it's clearly a kirin, which is funny. The English was like, let's give it some fanciful like name, but they're like, no, it's literally just a kirin. Korean is so straightforward. I love it. The Korean dub and everything, or yeah, it's just so straightforward. It's like, no, it is what it is. Yeah, we're fighting Zhongli's cousin. On top of the workbench are some burnt candles. 1, 2, 3, there are 7. The basement should have been abandoned long ago and no lights were installed. Did he use these candles to light up the basement?
그럴 수 있다고 봐요. 이런 천은 적어도 6시간 정도는 태울 수 있으니까.
He's just sitting in the dark. This is a horrible way to die.
이곳에 갇히면 생체 리듬도 엉망이 되겠지만 공포에 잠식돼서 특히 밤엔 제정신을 유지하기 힘들었을 거예요. 이 가설대로라면 그 천은 아마 하룻밤 동안 내내 타고 있었을지도 모르겠네요.
So 7 candles for 7 days. Artem nods, pausing for a moment to contemplate.
네, 기억해요? 인간이 물 없이 살 수 있는 시간은 7일이에요.
He knew he was gonna die. He died of thirst.
자세한 건 부검 결과를 봐야겠죠. 방금은 저희의 가설일 뿐이고 정한성 씨가 하루에 1개 이상을 태웠을 수도 있으니 심지어 이 초를 조명 대신 썼는지도 아직 미지수예요.
Sorry, I was just listening. We have to wait for the autopsy report. After all, these are just our assumptions. He may not have been burning 1 candle every day. It's not even clear whether the candles were used for light. Yeah, you're right. Rosa takes one last look at the scarlet remains of the candles. Fear rises in her heart when she thinks of Felicia Lowe's talisman.
상황은 대충 아시겠죠?
So, do you understand the scene now?
전 조사해야 할 게 남아서 먼저 가보겠습니다. 변호사님들도 너무 오래 계시지 말고 일찍 들어가세요.
There are other things I need to investigate, so you shouldn't stay here long either and head back. Understood. Sorry for the trouble.
별 말씀을요. 저도 진범을 찾아내고 증거를 수집하기 위해서 온 겁니다.
It's nothing. I would have come here anyway to find the real culprit as soon as possible. With that, he leaves the basement in a hurry. Afterward, Rosa combs over the crime scene again. As she calms down, that chilling feeling reemerges with renewed clarity. The talisman found in his mouth, 7 burnt-out red candles, and the scratch marks on the door. All of this information throws the case into a cloud of confusion that seems to push her further away from the truth.
너무 조급해하지 말고 일단 머리 좀 식혀요.
You don't need to rush it. First, take some time to clear your head. She takes a gummy sweet that Artem hands her and unwraps it without looking at the package. Is it mint flavored?
아니요, 매콤한 기름 맛이에요.
No, it's chili oil. Eh? What? Why did you buy such a strong flavor?
얼마 전 직원이 아메리카노보다 잠이 더 잘 깬다고 추천을 해줘서 한번 사봤어요.
Some time ago, I heard someone at the law firm say that they're more effective than Americano. So, I bought them to try. Is this really edible? Did you already try it?
네, 처음엔 맛이 이상하다 싶었는데 먹다 보니 생각보다 괜찮더라고요.
This is so random. Yes, I found the flavor strange at first, but the more I ate it, the more I enjoyed it.
게다가 매운 것도 통증의
More than I
일종이잖아요. 자극되는 순간 확실히 잠이 깨서 집중이 돼요.
Spiciness is a slightly painful sensation, so you can have a refreshing effect and improve your concentration.
아, 하지만 사람마다
So he's an
다르니까
M.
먹기 싫으면 안 먹어도 괜찮아요.
But the effect varies from person to person. You don't have to force yourself if you don't like it. I want to try it. Okay. You just got the Octobaby and on land, and it does look like he bubbled a snack for later. I haven't used my Octobaby. Like I haven't equipped it. Yeah. This is not what she meant when she asked to spice up your relationship. With that said, she tosses the gummy candy in her mouth and to bite into it. Within seconds, a fierce spiciness spreads outward from her tongue, making her nose sting. Mr. Wing, it's so spicy. Look at her face. This is so funny. Tears begin welling up in her eyes. I also realized, like, just now, this is, like, the wrong background. But thanks to this gummy candy, she feels invigorated and whatever. Okay. I'll give you something to cry about. Oh! We get a cutscene. Or kind of a cutscene? Whatever. Their version of a cutscene, right? The spicy flavor clears up the convoluted thoughts in her mind. A life was lost here, and the cause cannot be attributed to something like a supernatural curse. No matter how bizarre the circumstances, there must be a cause for every effect, as well as a truth waiting to be uncovered. Mr. Wing, is it possible that Brad Grease chose to live in this remote basement because he sensed that his life was in danger? Artem nods approvingly at the speculation.
네. 그렇지 않았다면 그런 이상한 행동들은 하지 않았을 거예요.
Yeah. If it wasn't the case, he wouldn't have done all of these strange things. All right, analysis time. I think this was the one where I accidentally guessed everything right. But we'll see if I manage this time. Probably not. Husband, someone died here, right? Okay. Brad Grease must have realized he was in danger because... Yeah, this. And maybe this. Okay. I'm correct this time. After the divorce, but this was an easy guess. He not only purchased personal accident insurance, but also agreed to be an organ donor. There would be no reason for him to do that. These actions seem to be based on a particular presumption that his life could be in danger at any moment.
하지만 지금의 정보로는 나수양 씨의 생각이나 범죄 사실 여부를 떠나서
But based on the information we have, regardless of what Felicia Lowe was thinking or whether she actually committed a crime,
적어도 정한성 씨 입장에서 나수양 씨는 경계할 대상이 아니에요.
at least from his perspective, she wasn't the one he needed to guard against. Yeah, he does not seem to think that... He did think he was in danger, obviously. He definitely didn't think it was her. Yeah. He wasn't wary of her because... I mean, this, right? And he had already given her everything, right? Oh, yay! I'm correct again. According to the divorce agreement, Brad Grease, yeah, she's too hot, paid her a large sum of money as compensation. Judging from the current situation, it's very likely that that cost him everything, leaving him with nothing and forcing him to hide in this abandoned basement. If he was guarding against her, there would be no reason to do this.
맞아요. 강제로 작성한 합의서라고 해도 원한을 품은 건 나수양 씨가 아니라 정한성 씨였을 거예요.
Yeah. Even if we assume that he was forced to sign the agreement, she would not be the one harboring resentment afterwards. It should have been him instead.
만약 정말 나수양 씨를 원망하거나 경계하고 있었다면 보험 수익자로 적지 않았겠죠.
If he really harbored resentment towards or was wary of her, he wouldn't have filled in her name as the beneficiary. Actually, though, resentment is a different thing. Because if he did harbor resentment, he could have tried to frame her. Like knowing he would die, but trying to frame her for it by putting her name as the beneficiary to give her motive could be something that he would do out of resentment, right? But you found the fortress. Ooh. Are you talking about Under the Sea? About that. Do you think Brad Grease did that to subtly point the finger at Felicia? After all, she would be considered a suspect since the insurance policy could be a possible motive. I found it already, but I think it was because I was looking for, like... Actually, no, I found it by accident. But I know there are some, like, starfish around there, and I need the starfish.
이렇게 돌려서 지목할 필요는 없었을 거예요.
That's too roundabout.
정한성 씨 성격상 목숨의 위협을 느꼈다면 바로 경찰에 신고했을 가능성이 높아요.
Oh yeah, Rosa and I had the same thought. But Artem said that if he really thought it was the case, like, he would have turned to the police for help.
누가 언제 그를 죽일지 모르는 상황이 아니었다면요.
Unless he himself wasn't sure who was after him and when that person would take action. So because he was unsure, he got a vital signs bracelet. Based on this, the reason why he suddenly divorced his wife was to prevent his family from getting involved.
그의 예감이 틀리지 않았네요.
His concern wasn't
이
unfounded.
지하실은 분명 누군가가 훼손한 흔적이 있어요.
There are signs the basement was tampered with.
이상하네요.
It's strange. What's unusual? The window was locked from the outside. I think I'm wrong here. Yeah, wrong. I think it's weird,
조급해하지 말고
but okay. You got stopped by an NPC. Makes sense. That's true. She won't be there for their daughter. That's true. He does love their daughter. I know. The oxygen concentration was already lower than normal, and the doors and windows were always closed. Lighting so many candles, oh, I see it. Putting aside whether he could tolerate it, the low oxygen would make it impossible for the candles to keep burning.
맞아요. 호흡 곤란이 올 정도는 아니지만 어느 정도 불편했을 거예요.
Oh, that's a good point.
정한성 씨가 아무리 어둠을 무서워한다 해도 본인의 목숨을 가지고 장난칠 사람은 아니에요.
Yeah, even if he's afraid of the dark, he wouldn't put his health in jeopardy. I don't know about that. I would. No, I don't like it. I can't see. That leaves one possibility. The basement already had ventilation problems. Oh, you found a side quest. Nice. The door should have been locked the whole time. Oh, there was an exclamation mark near the fortress, I think, but I haven't gone there. The new quest menu. I haven't seen the new quest menu. That leaves the window. It was blocked by a railing, so he was unable to escape through it despite being open at all times.
밖에서 잠기는 창문이라 정한성 씨를 제외한 누구라도 언제든지 창문을 잠글 수 있었을 거예요.
The latch is on the outside, which means anyone except him could close it at any time.
경찰이 현장을 발견했을 때 창문이 잠겨 있던 것도 설명되고요.
That also explains why the window was locked when they first arrived on the scene. Wait. This could be a test, right? And maybe that's why Artem is also agreeing to help with this investigation. But this could be a test to see what they're capable of, to give them a really difficult situation and to see if they can find the truth. Maybe? While some of Jerome is testing them. Yeah, it could be. It could be. Maybe he's trying to see if he can use them. Some of the questions have been more or less solved. Many more remain unanswered. What happens if they win? Do they get to kiss him? Standing on the chalk outline where the victim's body was, she looks at the narrow window. From Brad Grease's point of view, he should have looked at this window in the final moments of his life. What was he thinking about? And what is the role and function of the window? Why was it later shut? My point of view might not be objective since Felicia Lowell is my client, but based on the current situation, I'm inclined to believe that she did not murder Brad Grease.
범행 동기가 충분하지 않아서요?
Because her motive isn't sufficient? Right. Whether it's the division of assets or naming Felicia Lowe as the beneficiary, he clearly still had feelings for her. Even if she hated him, she wouldn't abandon her daughter to seek revenge. And she was quick to confess, almost as if she was protecting someone. Artem does not confirm or deny her speculations. He crouches down the chalk outline, deep in thought about where his body was found.
그리고 나수양 씨의 범행 수법도 말이 되지 않아요.
The modus operandi doesn't hold up.
세상에 귀신의 저주 같은 건 없어요. 꿍꿍이를 품은 사람들만 가득할 뿐이죠.
There's no such thing as curses in this world. People with guilty consciences are often paranoid. And a child's been found in his mouth? Artem stands up, his eyes still focused on the chalk outline. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is clear. Behind everything, there's a long and painful struggle.
부적은 여러 가지 해석이 있을 수 있어요.
There are many interpretations for that matter.
기억나요?
Do you remember?
전에 정한성 씨의 사인을 탈수라고 추측했던 거요.
We first speculated that he died of dehydration.
사람은 죽음에 임박하면 환각이 생길 수 있어요. 이때 손에 잡히는 게 뭐든 갈증을 해소할 수 있는 것이라고 착각하기 쉽죠.
People on the brink of death are prone to hallucinations. When that happens, they might mistake objects for something that can quench their thirst. That makes sense.
아니에요. 그저 가벼운 추측이죠.
It's just irresponsible speculation.
변호사로서 우리는 반드시
As attorneys, we must strive to do one thing.
독립적으로 사고하는 법을 유지해야 해요. 그 누구에게도 흔들리지 않고요. 설령 그게 본인의 의뢰인이라도요.
Maintain the ability to think independently and never follow someone else's line of thought, even if it's your clients. There is no reproach in his tone. It is more of a concerned reminder. It dawns on her that she inadvertently has been living in fear of the curse, even if she's never admitted to it. And Artem seems to be vaguely aware that this reason is largely related to himself.
걱정 말아요. 저를 싫어하는 사람은 많으니까요.
Don't worry, there are many people who don't like me.
부적 하나 때문에 일이 일어난다면 전 이미 여기에 없었을 거예요.
If a talisman was all it took for something to happen to me, I wouldn't be here. Mr. Wing, don't joke around like that. She calms down after that sudden outburst. But I understand what you mean.
다행이네. 가요. 여기 계속 있어.
Oops, sorry.
다행이네요. 가요. 여기 계속 있어봤자 진전이 없을 것 같네요. 부검 결과가 나오기 전에 다른 방법을 시도해보죠.
Let's go. We won't make any real progress by staying here. We should explore another angle before the autopsy report comes out. Another angle? Artem hands his phone to her. On his screen is a table filled with detailed information, including telephone numbers and
나수양
addresses.
씨 사건이 퍼지고 부적을 받았던 사람들이 피해자 연맹을 만들었어요.
Wow, after the news about Felicia Lowe got out, those who were given a talisman formed a coalition of victims.
이건 단체 채팅방에서 출연한 일부 회원 리스트고요.
This is a partial list of the people in that group. Mr. Wing, are we looking for the mysterious person who called
네.
Felicia Lowe?
여기에 있을 거란 보장은 없지만 나수양 씨 인맥이 넓은 편은 아니라 일단 이렇게라도 돌파구를 찾아야 해요.
Yes, he may not be among them, but her social network is small, so this is all we have to go on for now.
게다가 이 사람들 사이에 모종의 커넥션이 있을 수도 있죠.
And they may have something in common. Don't worry, no curse or gender fluid boy can hurt me. Oh my god. Rosa suddenly remembers the day of Felicia Lowe's arrest. She was telling a man his fortune, but refused to do so for the man's child. It seems she isn't telling fortunes indiscriminately, but choosing. Why don't we talk to them one by one?
이 사람부터 시작하죠.
Artem zooms in on one of the names. Jonah Zahn.
전에 유신우 씨가 화인의 대표로 참석한 파티에서 습격당한 일은 알고 있겠죠.
Oh! You may have heard that Marius was attacked when he attended a party on behalf of Pax. Mention of your boy.
이 허명준이라는 사람이 그때 습격한 범인이었어요.
Oh, Jonah Zahn was the attacker. Yeah.
弄得神神叨叨，果然是个江湖骗子。
I don't know. I don't remember in the last case him being attacked by I think Marius did. Actually, I think Marius did kind of mention that somebody attacked him and he didn't want Rosa to know about it. But I thought it was from an event that I couldn't remember. Maybe it happened off screen and we weren't like, and only now we're getting told what happened. Yeah. With all that superstitious mumbo jumbo, she must be an experienced scammer. After a meeting that felt like a battle, Marius sits in an empty conference room, looking exhausted. Vincent stands at his side, tablet in hand, while reporting the latest findings. I love Vincent.
옛날에 나수양이 사주로 사기를 치는 바람에 많은 사람과 갈등이 있었고 옛 이웃들이 생생하게 기억하고 있더라고요.
In her early years, Felicia Lowe had conflicts with many people due to her fortune-telling scams, which her former neighbors remember vividly.
하지만 대부분 사적으로 합의를 봐서 범죄 기록이 남아있진 않았을 겁니다.
Most of the time, they were settled in private, so there was no public record.
有钱私了还出去招摇撞骗，怎么给人算命是他的业余爱好吗？
Why would she need to scam if she had the money to settle in private? Is fortune-telling just a hobby?
아니요, 작은 도련님. 합의금은 정한성이 몰래 내준 겁니다.
Those settlements were paid for by Brad Grease.
두 사람이 결혼한 뒤 나수양은 점술 사업을 이어가지 않았는데
After they got
아마
married,
손을 씻은 것 같습니다.
she retired. So she was a scammer beforehand, and while they were dating, he was paying it off. Wow. And then once they got married, she even stopped scamming. She must have really liked him. It feels like she was testing him, right? How far would he go for her? That's bad. That's bad. She's not a good girl. You're paying full attention now.
哦，所以他是最近才复出的吗？
So she recently came out of retirement. She quit stealing for him, doubtful. Yeah. Marius plays with a fountain pen on the table. He thinks for a moment before looking at Vincent.
虽然不是什么特别有用的信息，但以防万一，你还是发一份给他吧。
It's not exactly useful information, but send a copy to Rosa just in case.
직접 보내지 않으셔도 됩니까?
You don't want to send it yourself?
你是陆总，还是我是陆总？
Are you the boss or am I the boss?
죄송합니다, 작은 도련님. 저는 도련님이 특별히
I'm sorry, young master. I thought you were... Before Vincent can finish, Marius chuckles.
就是不想做的那么明显，才让你去发的。
I asked you to do it because I didn't want it to be obvious. As if it's not obvious coming from him, right? Yeah, they're talking about Felicia.
况且，我也不只是为了他。
Besides, I'm not just doing it for her.
전에 습격했던 허명준이라는 사람을 조사하고 싶으신 건가요? 제 기억이 맞다면 나수양이 그의 사주를 봐준 적이 있습니다.
You want to investigate the attacker. If I recall correctly, she also told his fortune. Yeah, a bit of variety. She's already got Artem appropriate distance wing. She can stand to have someone be a little closer. Marius' cold demeanor returns, and he sits down at the long table in the conference room. He looks at the row of empty seats, a deeper meaning hidden in his words as he wears an intriguing expression.
是啊，我也不算是什么心胸宽广的人，不追究，不代表不计较。
Oh, yeah, I'm not that generous. Just because I didn't press charges doesn't mean I don't care.
그 점에 관해서 미처 보고하지 못한 일이 있습니다. 허명준이 한 달 전에 노아 심리건강 연구센터에 간 적이 있는데
At this point, I didn't have the chance to inform you that Jonazan participated in a psychological study at the Gianovin Mental Health Research Center a month ago. Dun dun dun. A notification pops up on Vincent's tablet, which causes him to stop.
怎么了？
What is it?
작은 도련님, 허명준이 사고를 당했습니다.
Something has happened to Jonazan. So Jonazan is the guy that attacked Marius at that function off screen. And also Jonazan is one of the people who signed up for the Victims Coalition against Felicia Lo because she also gave him a talisman. And now we know that Jonazan has also participated in a study at the Gianovin whatever institute. So this guy is everywhere.
出事？考虑到他的精神状态，警方都没让他直接坐牢，能出什么事啊？
Given his mental state, the police didn't even want to put him in jail. What could have happened to him?
방금 허명준이 사망했습니다.
He died. Marius frowns as his pen slips through his fingers and falls to the ground with a crisp sound. Okay, Jonazan's neighborhood. It's already dark by the time that they leave the remote basement and reach the residential area where Jonazan lives. When she finds the corresponding building, she realizes that a crowd of people has gathered there, blocking the entrance. What's going on? Confused, they walk forward and follow their gazes upward. Mr. Wing, there's a person standing on the roof. It looks like... Jonazan.
허명준일까요?
Because of the distance, she and Rosa don't assume that it's him. But given that Jonazan has appeared countless times in the news recently, it's hard not to recognize him. It was a pretty good guess.
오지마, 오지마.
Don't come here. Don't come here.
날 보내줘. 제발 날 용서해줘.
Let me go. Forgive me. On the roof of a 5-story residential building, Jonazan shouts loudly, walking backwards while waving his hands. Not far behind him is the edge of the roof, unprotected by any security fences because the building has been built long ago. And he is begging for mercy, yet there is no one in front of him. At first glance, the whole scene looks like a well-rehearsed one-man show, but when it takes place in reality, it's a disturbing sight. This is bad. He might fall off the roof at any time. Rosa and Artem exchange a look and prepare to call the police.
왔다. 경찰이 드디어 왔어요. 빨리 어떻게 좀 해봐요.
They're here. The police are finally here. Hurry and do something. Did someone already call the police? Just when she turns to look at the police cars approaching, a woman near her starts screaming at the top of her lungs.
어머, 큰일이야. 다들 비켜요. 빨리요. 맞지 않게 조심해요.
Oh no, out of the way. Quickly get out of the way. Hurry up. You don't want to get hit. What? Before she can look back, Artem pulls her towards him. An indescribable sound echoes through the night, perforated by sudden screams. Man, that music. The way that Artem blocked her, though, before she could see it. The sudden turn of events leaves her mind blank. But in the space where her mind is blank, even though Artem has blocked her line of sight with his coat, her body still responds instinctively. Did he jump or did he fall off? Because he was backing up. She can feel every hair on her head tingling, a shiver running down her spine. Mr. Wing, how is he?
보지 마요. 볼 필요 없어요.
Don't look. You don't need to see. But she tries to take a step back from his protection. Oh, the way he held her closer. Into my breast. This time, however, he doesn't immediately keep his distance. He holds her tightly in his arms. Yeah, the way he looks at her. Oh.
말했잖아요. 보지 마요.
I told you, didn't I? Don't look. Oh. His sudden outburst leaves her stunned. Artem close distance wing. Yes, he has arrived. I know. Oh, let's listen to that again.
말했잖아요. 보지 마요.
I think because of the line too, I said don't look. I would actually love to hear that in Corey's voice. At this point, a night breeze blows by, the sticky smell of blood growing stronger with every passing second. Oh, that's horrible.
이게 무슨 일이야? 이렇게 떨어졌으니 가망 없겠어. 아이고 세상에나.
Oh my god. There's no way he can survive a fall like that. What is wrong with the world? There's a constant chorus of chatter with a few retching sounds here and there. Oh, some people throwing up. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to unhear it. I'm glad they didn't do an audio for that. For a moment, she feels her head buzzing as she subconsciously grabs onto Artem's shirt. Oh, he
미안해요.
loosened his grip.
말투가 좀 날카로웠죠.
I'm sorry. My tone just now was a little sharp, wasn't it? It's okay. You can speak that sharply anytime because it was to protect her. Yeah. Stop further traumatizing my fiancé. You don't need to apologize. It's my fault. I should have listened to you.
일단 돌아가요. 여긴 경찰에게 맡기죠.
Let's go back first. Let's leave this to the police. Gradually calming down, she notices his hands shaking slightly.
제가 이 사건을 너무 쉽게 생각했나 보네요.
It seems that I underestimated this matter. Yeah, wow. This is way harder than his fake scared. Yeah, he's really scared. Hi, Z-Dog. Unwillingness, regret, pity. All kinds of complex emotions mixed together. Finally, into helpless anger. Yeah, she's crying. That was rough. Oh, we get two story ones here. He's wearing a mask? Are we gonna infiltrate a party or something? And then we get the one that's on the card. Okay. We keep forging forward. We have to see what happens next. Neighborhood. Afterwards, Artem drives her home. After witnessing a life disappear tragically, the two of them are silent the whole way home. When she gets out of the car, she musters up the courage to ask something. Mr. Wing, Jonah-san was alone on the roof, right?
네. 전에 습격 사건도 그렇고 정신적으로 문제가 있었을 가능성이 높아요.
Yes, but given his previous attacks, it's likely he has a mental illness. Artem says with a sigh.
일단 깊게 생각하지 말고 돌아가서 쉬어요.
Don't worry about it for now and go get some rest.
무슨 일 있으면 언제든지 전화해요.
If anything happens, call me.
그날 이후로 회의하러 갈 때 빼고 휴대폰 알림을 늘 켜두거든요.
Aside from meetings, my phone hasn't been silent since that time. That time? It takes her a moment to remember the reason she fell for the ruse of Artem being locked in his office, that she wasn't able to contact him. She's surprised he still remembers. Okay, get some rest, Mr. Wing. Good night. With that, she waves her hand at him. Recently, the air has been humid at night. Staying outside for long makes her feel as if she's covered in dew. After watching the figure disappear into the building, Artem takes out his phone and contacts someone he doesn't often call.
여보세요? 접니다. 늦은 시간에 죄송해요.
Hello? Sorry to unbother you, or sorry to bother you at this late hour.
말씀대로 하은설 씨 변호를 맡았고
Oh? As you said, I became Harper's defense attorney.
불순한 의도를 품은 사람들로부터 안전하게 법이 허용하는 선에서 공정한 판결을 받을 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
To ensure that she was not influenced by anyone with ulterior motives and that she will receive fair judgment within the law.
거래하는 걸로 하죠. 저도 부탁드릴 것이 있으니.
It was an exchange, right? I also have something I want you to help me with. Or I also have a request for you. Artem leans against the car and loosens his tie wearily. No, but Vin, it's not Vin because Vin asked. He's too polite. But Vin also asked why. If it was Vin, he would have already known, right? That Artem approached. So it's not Vin. No one show Cafe your terrible Spanish. Yes, the por una cabeza por una cadenza, is that the name? Cadenza? No. Artem leans against the car and loosens his tie wearily.
그 경매장의 초대장을 원합니다. 아직 가지고 계신다면 제게 주시죠.
I want the invitation to the auction. If you still have it, please give it to me.
네, 압니다.
Yes, I know. After making sure the lights are on inside, he turns to open the car door.
정당한 방법이 아닌 건 압니다. 주의하겠습니다.
I know this isn't on the straight and narrow path, and I will be careful. Artem?
제 기억으로는
No, I
경매는
still don't
내일
think it's Vin.
저녁부터로 알고 있는데
Because Vin wouldn't have like asked
오후에 사람
her.
보내서 빨리 보내주시면 늦지 않을 겁니다.
If I recall, the auction should be tomorrow night. We have a courier express delivery. Or have a courier express deliver it in the afternoon.
그럼 부탁 좀 드리겠습니다. 아버지.
Well then, I'll leave it to you, Father. The first conversation with his dad. Oh my gosh. So his dad is keeping an eye on the situation. His dad is trying... Walt is coming home. His dad is trying to protect Harper. Oh. This is so interesting. This is very fascinating. We now have all of them kind of working at things from different angles. Like before, up until like recently, like up until through chapter 8, right? And then through chapter 8, they were all working together. They were like collectively a team, approaching it as a team and sending everyone off to do individual tasks. But, but now there are other forces affecting them. That's so interesting. This, like, chapter 9 and this chapter really feels like there's a change now in the story and the group dynamic. And I really wonder where it's going to take us, because now we're getting their outside influences. And in Artem's case, it's definitely like his father knows something too. His father is like somehow tied to all of this. Maybe as like another party investigating. The government is investigating it from their angle. That's what Luke is working with. Because this deals with a lot of rich people with a lot of money, Maria seems to be attacking it from that angle. Vin is still... I don't know about Vin. But yeah, wow. He played basketball and he's in a conspiracy, yeah. But I guess that's why he has the mask. The next day is a work day. Whoops. Because of yesterday, Artem personally approved a day off to allow her to adjust her state of mind before returning to work. Good. I'm glad he gave her a mental health day, because yeah, I would need that. I know that, but watching the case unfold with no real progress, the questions just keep piling up. Not doing anything will only overwhelm her with anxiety. As she's getting ready to go to the law firm, her phone suddenly rings. A phone call from the police station? Hello, Captain Morgan? What? You found key evidence? All right, I'll be right over. Oh my. Yeah, she got a mental health day. He's estranged, maybe same degree as Vin and his fart relatives. Maybe, but at the same time, I feel like he has a higher degree of respect for his family than Vin does, right? Like Vin has a very, I think there's a distance. Like I think there's much more distance between Vin and his family than Artem and his family. I think Artem and his family is more like they're not a broken home like Vin's family kind of seems to be, right? Artem and his family are more like the parents are just neglectful of their kid in a way, right? Yeah, Artem is very respectful towards his family. And he also clearly admires and respects their work, right? So I think it's a very different dynamic and not the same level of estrangement. I love the idea of Artem always like maybe Artem following the same path because he wants to live up to their expectation. He wants to be noticed, right? And he didn't even really realize it, right? Artem's story is a little bit sad if you think about that as well. But yeah. By the time she reaches the police station, Captain Morgan is flipping through a pile of documents looking more serious than ever. Noticing her arrival, he immediately puts the documents aside and stands up.
오셨네요.
You're here.
백 변호사님은 같이 안 오셨나요?
You didn't come with Artem? Yeah, this is my case. Mr. Wing has his own things to do. Yeah! Yes, it is. It's okay, he's hot. Captain Morgan! Captain Morgan, let her handle her own case, okay? Stop trying to take this away from her. Which is funny because like she's handled a lot of cases on her own, right? This is not her first case. Like, come on. Captain Morgan nods and cuts to the chase without any more pleasantries.
오늘 오전 나수양 씨가 갑자기 자기는 사람을 죽이지 않았다고 말을 바꾸면서 결정적인 증거를 제공했어요.
I'm sure he means, isn't this dangerous? Sure, maybe. I don't know. Even before the thingy, though, I don't know. I feel like he's just been very much like says normally before into actually work contract law. That's true. But yeah, but like still like Darius is. I don't know. I just don't like that it's happened like twice where he's kind of been like very much just thinking this is Artem's case, you know? I know that you like Artem, Darius. Okay, I've read the fanfic. I get it. I know you want to see him, but this is her case. Felicia Lowe suddenly changed her story and claimed she didn't kill anyone. Then she handed over a piece of key evidence. They used to kiss, it's fine, yeah.
열쇠예요.
Oh, it's an actual key. When he said key evidence, he meant it literally. I'm sorry. It's just funny. Okay.
전에 살던 집 근처 화단에 묻어두었는데 나수양 씨가 제공한 위치에서 찾아냈어요.
She buried it in a flower bed near where she lived, and we just dug it up according to the location she gave us. It's literally key evidence, yeah. Captain Morgan hands her a picture. In the photo is an old key with obvious signs of wear and tear. It seems that she didn't intend to bury it for too long, simply storing it in a cardboard box. What does this key open? Could it be?
짐작하셨겠지만 정한성 씨가 살해당한 그 지하실 열쇠입니다.
Doesn't that make her look worse that she knows where it is, right? I didn't do it, but here's some evidence that kind of makes it seem more like I did it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Felicia, what are you doing?
나수양 씨에 의하면 열쇠의 범인의 지문이 남아 있어서 부서에 맡겼으니 곧 결과가 나올 겁니다.
Oh, okay. It has the real culprit's fingerprints. We've already handed it over to forensics, and the result will come out soon. Maybe she's just really bad at this. Why would she wait until now to turn over such an important evidence? Captain Morgan frowns.
그건 직접 여쭤보시는 게 좋을 것 같네요.
It'll be better if you ask her that yourself. Okay.
왜냐고요?
Okay, let me grab a snack. I need more sugar to get myself through this. It has been 3.5 hours of this story. And it just keeps getting crazier. We still haven't gotten to the scene that was advertised. Are you asking me why? Unlike in private meetings, her tone is less sharp and her mood has softened. Yeah, why would she know where it's buried? Just as she thought when she met her, she looks elegant and dignified. I mean, she does, that's true.
이 사건 배우의 진범은 보통 사람이 아니에요. 수법도 꽤 특이하죠.
The real culprit behind this case is powerful and has many connections. And their method is rather strange, or rather particular.
이렇게 하지 않으면 진범을 잡기 어려울 거예요.
If I didn't do things this way, catching the culprit would have been more difficult. By do that, do you mean take the blame first?
네,
Yes.
처음에 범인을 잡지 못했다면 현재 상황상 사고사로 처리될 게 뻔하니까요.
If the killer isn't caught, given the circumstances, it's easy to call it an accident and let it go.
하지만 그 과정에서 엉뚱한 사람을 체포했다는 것이 밝혀지면 사람들에게 해명을 하기 위해서라도 진범을 찾아야 하죠.
But if it turns out the wrong person was arrested, the police would have to find the real killer in order to appease the public. Felicia Lowe's ideas far exceed her imagination. Wow, this is like too big brain for me, I think. She's as hot as I expected, indeed. But now that it's done, she needs to consider how to turn the unfavorable situation around instead of judging her for her actions. Regardless, tell me what's going on. All right, time to question. Scapegoat. How did you first come up with the idea to become the scapegoat? Or how can you be sure that Brad Grease's accident was a homicide and not an accident?
변호사님, 지금까지 조사하시면서 의심스러운 구석도 발견하셨죠?
Miss Lawyer, now that you've gotten this far into your investigation, you must have found something suspicious, right?
저랑 제 남편 사이에 특별한 갈등은 없었어요. 이혼은 조금 갑작스러웠고 어이없었죠.
My husband and I didn't have any big problems, so the divorce was sudden, without any reason. Sadness flashes through Felicia Lowe's eyes. She did love him. No! No! It's getting fatter. Compared with the disgust she showed before, this restrained emotion seems more genuine. Yeah, there was speculation that Brad Grease might have realized he was in danger. He chose to stay away to avoid getting his wife and daughter involved. He even took out personal accident insurance and made you the beneficiary.
보험이요?
Insurance. Felicia Lowe falls silent for a moment. Yeah, it's worse if he was a good guy and they had a loving relationship. Right? She did give up crime for him. She gave up her scams. Her expression seems somewhat surprised, but that quickly fades.
그에 대해 이야기한 건 대부분 사실이에요. 정말 겁쟁이지만.
Most of what I said about him is true. He was very timid.
그런 성격 때문에 누군가를 해치지 못하는 착한 사람이었거든요.
But with that cowardice, he dared not and could not bear to hurt anyone. He was a kind man. So you knew there was something wrong with the divorce?
처음엔 생각하지 못했어요.
I didn't think of that at
화가
first.
머리끝까지 차올라서.
I was so angry I felt my head would explode.
제게 다른 사람을 사랑하게 됐다고 거짓말했고 전 그대로 믿었죠. 진정하고 다시 생각해보니 조금 이상했어요.
He told me that he had fallen in love with someone else. He lied to me that he had fallen in love with someone else. But I believed him at his word. After I calmed down and thought about it, something was wrong. Something was strange.
하지만 그땐 이미 증발해버려서 연락조차 되지 않았고요.
By the time I realized that he had disappeared into thin air, I couldn't get in touch with him. Sensing her guilt, Rosa stops talking and nods, encouraging her to keep talking.
그 일을 찾으려고 조사까지 해봤어요.
I even tried to track him down.
하지만 전 무식하고 똑똑하지도 못해서 어디서부터 시작해야 할지 알 수 없었죠.
But I'm not educated, and I'm not smart, so I didn't know where to start.
어느 날 한 통의 전화를 받기 전까진요.
Until one day, I received a phone call. A phone call. and he wanted to kiss someone named Jerome. He figured out he was gay. No. Hi Sugi Hono, how are you? I'm so sorry about that. What are those lyrics? But yes, hi Sugi Hono TV BT reviewer. Sorry, let me give you a shout out. We are doing a Tears of Themis card right now, so sorry if I'm a little distracted. We are at a super like important point in this story, and it is crazy. It's from a meme. Oh, okay. It's explicit. I see. I'm glad I didn't read all of it then. A phone call. According to testimonies from nurses, she was seen to be talking or taking the occasional phone call in private. That has to be the phone call she was talking about.
네. 남편이 조사하면 안 되는 걸 조사하는 바람에 일이 났다고 했어요.
Yes, the person on the phone told me that Brad Grease was murdered for investigating something that he shouldn't have.
상대가 너무 강해서 사건이 은폐되는 일을 막기 위해서 반드시 일을 키워야 한다고 했고요.
He said the person responsible has considerable resources to cover this case up, so I needed to make a big fuss.
저는 원래 점쟁이로 유명했으니 그가 말한 대로 죄를 뒤집어 쓰고 관심을 유도했죠.
I was already getting a lot of attention due to the fortune telling.
그때 갑자기 변호해달라고 협박한 것도 당신들이 기사에 나온 적도 있으니 여론의 시선을 끌 수 있기 때문이었고요.
I only threatened you guys to defend me because I've seen you on the news. It makes you more likely to be talked about. I see. So she was tipped off. I think Jerome tipped her off. And I think that's interesting. Jerome must have set it up for them to investigate. It feels like Jerome set them up to investigate. Oh, this is so twisted. Yeah, oh, this is crazy. Even though her motives have been explained, it still leaves many questions that need to be answered. Yeah, I'm very confused. More questions. Mystery crime or call. Who was the person that called you? How can you believe what he said?
저도 누군지 몰라요.
I also don't know who it was.
대포폰에 음성 변조기까지 써서 남자인지 여자인지도 모르겠어요.
He used a virtual number and a voice changer. I don't even know if it was a man or a woman.
하지만 믿지 않을 수 없었어요.
But I couldn't not believe it. Felicia Lowe bites her lip helpless, but it doesn't seem like regret.
그이가 아니었다면 전 아직도 길 잃은 양처럼 남편에게 무슨 일이 있었는지도 몰랐을 거예요.
If it wasn't for that person, I would still be running around like a headless chicken, not knowing what happened to my husband. Do you know why he was targeted?
네. 그 전화의 지시에 따라서 남편 컴퓨터에서 미처 지우지 못한 일기를 발견했죠.
Oh, wow. What's his name, Jerome? The person on the phone guided me to some undeleted logs on my husband's computer. She didn't just pick them because he's internet famous, right?
암시장 약물에 대한 검색 기록이 많았어요. 폭로할 생각이었거든요.
I'll try to take a look at it later, Sugihono. I'm a bit involved in this story right now. There are many searches for a black market drug. Black market drug?
네.
And 2X.
전화 속 그 사람이 그건 원래 수많은 불치병을 고칠 수 있는 만병통치약이라고 하더라고요.
The mysterious person said that it was an all-purpose drug that could have cured many terminal diseases.
하지만 아직 개발 초기라 복용 후 대부분이 심각한 부작용을 겪게 돼서 결국은 죽는데요.
But because it's still in the early stages of development, most people who took it suffered severe side effects and eventually died.
처음엔 조금 의심스러웠죠.
I was skeptical at
겁이
first.
많은 사람이니 이런 일에 나설 거라고 생각하지 않았거든요.
After all, my timid husband wouldn't have been brave enough to do something like that. Oh. Then why did you believe the person on the phone? After a sigh, Felicia Lowe shakes her head.
어쩔 수 없었어요. 그 느낌은 마치 조금 부적절한 비유겠지만 마치 보이스피싱을 당하는 기분이었어요.
I couldn't help it. It felt like the feeling of receiving a scam phone call.
그 사람은 엄청 온화한 말투로 제게 진실을 알아내도록 유도했어요.
It was definitely Jerome. His voice was extremely gentle, luring me to uncover the truth.
제가 누구에게도 도움을 청할 수 없을 때 마치 구세주처럼 나타난 거죠.
When I was at my wit's end, he came along like a lifeline. Listening to Felicia Lowe's description, she suddenly thinks of a person. But if that person was really thinking about her, they wouldn't only have to be gentle. It would also be impossible to hide behind Felicia Lowe under the guise of guidance and make her it would also, to do things that would implicate herself. The only possibility is that that person was up to something.
게다가 그 사람은 제 딸의 상황에도 관심을 가졌어요.
Yeah, it was definitely Jerome. And he was very concerned about my daughter's health. Yeah.
남편과 결혼하기 전에 사회생활을 꽤나 오래 했었고 다양한 사람들을 만났죠.
Before I married my husband, I met all kinds of people in society.
하지만 그의 말투는 전혀 빈말이 아니었고 마치 진심인 것만 같았어요.
But his concern didn't feel fake. It felt like the truth.
그래서 저도 어느 순간부터 그의 말을 믿어 의심치 않았고요.
So I began to believe what he was saying.
솔직히 지금도 누군지는 알 수 없지만 그 사람 말을 믿고 싶어요.
To be honest, I can't confirm his identity, but I still want to believe in what he said. I want to believe in what he said. In the basement? Oh no. Do you want her to be tied up? Yeah, I heard from the police that you turned in the basement key as evidence against the real killer. Is that your way out of this?
맞아요. 전화한 사람이 그 지하실 열쇠에 진범의 지문이 묻어 있다고 했어요.
It's got to be someone else then. The person on the phone told me the real killer's prints were on the basement key.
게다가 열쇠가 없더라도 현재 있는 증거물로는 제가 유죄로 인정받기 어려울 거라고 했죠.
Even without the key, it would be hard for the police to convict me based on the evidence they had. That's true. So you went ahead and did what the person said?
네. 증거물을 훼손하지 않기 위해 장갑을 꼈기 때문에 제 지문이 검출될 일은 없어요.
Smart girl. To avoid tampering with evidence, I wore the gloves when I handled the key, so my fingerprints are definitely not on it. And how did he give you this key?
제가 직접 가지러 갔어요.
I went out and got it myself. Felicia Lowe takes a deep breath, perhaps dredging up bad memories. She did put the talisman in his mouth. That is how she knew about it, right? It was to get this far. Oh my god. That's so sad. Did she really? I don't know. Let's find out. I'm a little scared.
이 열쇠는 지하실 밖 창문 근처 풀숲에서 찾은 거예요.
I found the key in the grass near the outdoor window of the basement. You visited the basement after something happened to him?
네. 구체적인 위치도 그 사람이 전화로 알려줬어요.
Oh my gosh, Beck. The mysterious person on the phone told me the exact location. Was Brad Grease still in the basement? You should have been able to see him through the window.
네. 맞아요. 있었어요.
Oh man, listen to that tremble.
네. 맞아요. 있었어요.
But if he did it, his fingerprints would have been on the key, maybe? I don't know. Unless he gave someone else that key.
네. 맞아요. 있었어요.
Oh man, she's so good. This voice actress. I wish they would reveal in the credits somewhere like who is voicing who. I need to know, man. Maybe he also had gloves, maybe. But then like whose fingerprints are on that key? Felicia Lowe's voice trembles a little, and she takes a deep breath, trying to steady her. Rosa takes a deep breath, trying to steady her nerves. Did you try using that key to open the door to the basement?
그이가 혼자 외롭게 누워있지 않길 바랬어요. 죽어도 그 지하실에 갇혀있지 않았으면 했죠.
I didn't want to leave him lying there alone, dead and unable to get out of the basement that killed him.
하지만 들어갈 엄두가 나지 않았어요.
Oh, I didn't dare.
사건 현장을 망가뜨릴 것 같았거든요.
Oh, but I didn't dare to enter. I worried that I might ruin the crime scene. Did you remember where Brad Grease collapsed?
공구대 같아 보이는 탁자 옆에요.
Near the workbench table. That's not where he was found. Wait a minute. What is happening? Okay. To make sure she doesn't break down, Rosa holds back her other doubts. Brad Grease was found. So she didn't put the thing. So someone else did put the talisman. Yeah, who deep-throated him? Brad Grease was found dead under the small window, and he was still wearing the vital signs bracelet, which alerted authorities. In that case, he should have been alive when she visited the basement. Even if he was in a weakened state, possibly even a coma, at least he was still breathing. That's true. What happened? There's definitely something wrong with that phone call. So he was alive. She could have saved him. But he had already passed out? Oh no. That's so sad. She didn't know though. Don't tell her. Don't tell her. Rosa, don't tell her. Do not tell her. Yeah, she could have called for help. It was either smash the window or call for help, right? She could have still done something. Then Jerome would have murdered her too. That's true. That's true. Or, so then how did this happen? Maybe he was already dead, but someone else was wearing his vital life signs bracelet. Wouldn't those have to be like would those be difficult to remove? Maybe someone else was wearing it until they needed to reveal that he was dead. But wouldn't the time of death be given away at some point? Like, this is all very weird. Okay, let's see. Let's find out. Can you tell me in detail what happened at the crime scene? What else did you do besides picking up the key? Yeah, how did they get in and out? No, but it is assuming that the person, he was locked in. It is assuming the person that locked him in has the key, right? The person that locked him in would know how to get in and out. And it's not like anyone else seems to be in this building. The police suspect that someone closed the window deliberately. Was it you?
네, 제가 닫았어요.
Oh, she closed it. Why? She was probably wearing gloves because no fingerprints were left behind. What you find bizarre is that she had no reason to do that.
원래는 그냥 전화로 지시받은 대로 부적을 지하실 안에
Yeah.
던지려고만 했어요.
Toss the talisman into the basement through the open window. Someone else took the talisman and shoved... I think Jerome did it. I think Jerome came back. Maybe with the bracelet. Shoved the talisman in his throat and then gave him the bracelet and then left. Maybe. Oh my god. This is twisted.
전부터 저는 점을 봐주고 있었으니까 이렇게 하면 경찰이 제일 먼저 제게 올 거라는 걸 알았어요.
I knew that since I've been doing fortune telling for a while that the police would find me. The police didn't tell her another detail. The talisman was found in his throat. She can't help frowning, but on the other side, Felicia Lowe also seems troubled. Yeah, don't tell her. Don't tell her this shit.
근데 갑자기 무슨 이상한 냄새가 창문에서 나더라고요.
I smell something distinct from the window.
그때 전 점을 보기 시작했지만 아무런 영향도 없었어요. 전화 속 그 사람은 며칠 뒤에 경찰에 신고하라고 했죠.
I'd already started telling fortunes, but nothing came of it. That's why she picked it up again. That's why she started telling fortunes again. It was so she would be found. So the person on the phone told me to wait a few days before notifying the police.
주변에 가끔 젊은 사람들이 탐험을 하러 와요. 이상한 냄새에 이끌려오지 않도록 창문을 닫았죠.
There are teens who explored the area, so I closed the window to avoid attracting people to the smell. Did he tell you to wait before notifying the police because he wanted to get as much publicity as possible?
맞아요. 세상엔 매일 수많은 사람들이 죽어가니 이목을 끌 수 없을 테니까요.
So many people die in this world, and it's hard to keep track of them all.
이러면 안 되는 거 알지만 진범을 찾기 위해 저주를 이용했어요.
Ah, I know it was wrong, but to find the culprit, I had to resort to the curse trick. I got it. It appears whoever made the phone call knew that he was not dead in that moment. So he wasn't dead. I don't know if public fortune telling is illegal. But I think it was to attract attention, like to get more people to be like, hey, I've been cursed by this lady. I think that's what she meant. But, yeah, don't tell her. But he wasn't dead. Oh my God. So that person was waiting for him to die before having her caught. And she was under the impression he was already dead this whole time. Oh my God. This is so effed up. What is his motive? If it was just to kill him, he wouldn't have made Felicia Lo do so much. So you can choose the target of your fortune telling and talisman. Did the person on the phone instruct you?
네. 모든 행동은 그가 시켜서 한 거예요.
He selected every person. What were the criteria? Rosa doesn't hold out hope, thinking that the mysterious person wouldn't reveal much. Unexpectedly, Felicia Lo
암시장
nods.
약물 구매자 리스트였어요. 제 남편이 이전에 조사한 거라고 하더라고요.
It was the list of buyers for the black market drugs. Why did he have the list?
그 사람이 본인은 제 남편과 같은 목적을 가진 동료라고 했어요.
He said he and my husband were partners with the same objective. Same objective? The excuse sounds rather flimsy, but in Felicia Lo's position, it isn't surprising she believes it. People who are deceived aren't at fault. The person responsible are the ones who came up with the lie. It's very likely that those people rushed to buy the drugs because they themselves are ill. So you purposefully set up shop near the hospital and then approached them?
맞아요. 전화 속 그 사람이 그들에 대해 미리 알려줘서 성공률이 꽤 높았죠.
It's definitely Jerome. The mysterious person on the phone gave me their information in advance, so it had a high chance of success. I've seen you tell fortunes before. You prophesied catastrophes, but your actual goal was to make them stop taking that drug. Felicia Lo avoids her gaze as if blaming herself.
처음 남편의 시체를 발견하지 못했을 때부터 그 사람과 계획하고 있었어요.
Before I found my husband's body, I've been working with the mysterious person. That early? No wonder she believed the person on the phone and her husband had the same objective.
네. 그때는 정말 순수하게 경고를 해주고 싶었을 뿐이에요.
Back then, I was purely just trying to give them a reminder.
사실 직설적으로 말하고 싶었는데 제 남편이 너무 티를 내는 바람에 타깃이 됐고 행방불명이 된 거라고 말했어요.
I wanted to tell them directly, but the mysterious person told me that my husband was targeted because he had been too obvious.
그래서 저도 돌려서 말하는 식으로 그들에게 경고한 거예요.
So I only warned them subtly in this way.
그러다 어느 순간부터 저주가 되고 점점 더 많은 소문이 났죠.
Before I knew it, it started being called a curse, discussed by more and more people. Wow. It's unfortunate we had to part ways as he told her husband, right? Oh my god.
그래서 남편의 시체가 발견됐을 때 그 사람은 이 소문을 이용해 판을 키운 거예요.
After I discovered my husband's body, the person on the phone encouraged me to stir things up even further. After hearing her story, Rosa is lost in thought. What was the person on the phone thinking? If everything is an act, the acting is too good. At the end of the interview, Rosa asked the same question again. Felicia, do you still remember Gerard, the person I mentioned before? He didn't have a talisman, but the same symbols appeared on a piece of paper. What's going on? Felicia Lo looks at her without a word. Before she can, a few rapid knocks on the door interrupt their conversation. Captain Morgan enters the room with a serious expression, motioning for Rosa to stop the interview.
나수영 씨, 경찰 신문이 있을 예정입니다. 협조해 주시죠.
The police will now interrogate you. Please cooperate. Wait, you've already asked everything you need to know. Why is my client being interrogated again?
감정 결과 그 열쇠에는 어떠한 지문도 나오지 않았습니다.
Ah, no fingerprints were found on the key.
오랫동안 중요한 증거물을 은닉했기 때문에 현재 유일한 유력 용의자로 재신문을 받을 겁니다.
Yeah, the evidence is now pointing just at her. Considering she'd been holding and hiding the key evidence for a long time, she will be reinvestigated as the only suspect in the case.
뭐라고요? 그럴 리가.
What?
그 사람이 전화로는 그렇게 말하지 않았다고요.
Impossible. That's not what the person said on the phone. Hearing this, Felicia Lo's eyes widen in disbelief. Then she looks to her for help. Rosa is equally surprised, but not entirely surprised. Everything she learned in the interview exposed the deception of the person on the phone. Captain Morgan bought the key. My client was tricked by the person on the phone call I mentioned earlier. That person misled her more than once. Brad Grease was wearing a vital signs bracelet. Authorities were on the scene as soon as he died, and the police broke down the door of the basement. According to Felicia, she was guided by the person on the phone to drop a talisman through the window. At that time, she smelled a peculiar smell, and the person claimed that Brad Grease was already dead, which she believed. No! No! She's gonna find out! Oh, no! Rosa, do you have to do this here? Please do it outside! Rosa, no! In reality, he was only unconscious at the time, still retaining his vital signs.
그가 살아있었다고요?
You're saying he was alive? Rosa, no. Hi, Sea Dog. This woman just found out she could have saved her husband, but she didn't know, and he died. Drama is happening. Both of Felicia Lowe's hands are planted on the counter before her to keep herself from collapsing. It is said that when people encounter unacceptable things, they will go through a complex psychological process where they undoubtedly question and refute said things.
말도 안 돼요. 다 헛소리라고요.
That's impossible. You're talking nonsense.
분명 냄새가 났어요. 그건 분명 시체 썩는 냄새였어요.
I definitely smelled the stench of a dead body. How could he have been alive? She pounds the glass hysterically, searching for any signs of agreement. All words are useless in this moment, and she can only stare down at her. Seeing this, Captain Morgan motions for a female officer to take her out of the interrogation room. Captain Morgan, please mind Felicia Lowe's mental state. You shouldn't have said that! Rosa, you did this! Yeah, it's very good voice acting.
분명 냄새가 났어요. 그건 분명 시체 썩는 냄새였어요. 살아있었을 리가.
Oh, she's so good. But oh my god. Rosa, please. You could have done this outside. She also mentioned black market drugs. It's highly likely there's a connection to the deaths of Brad Grease as well as Jonazan, the person who fell to his death yesterday. Someone should keep an eye on her in case she tries to off herself because of something she accidentally heard. Hopefully the police will also investigate the phone call.
알겠습니다. 오늘은 여기까지 하고 이만 들어가시죠.
I know that. That's all for today. You should go home early. Before leaving, he looks at her, then sighs with a smile.
점점 백 변호사님을 닮아가시네요.
Dude.
오늘 같이 왔다면 좋아하셨겠어요.
Dude. No, he would have been like, you shouldn't have said that in front of her. Why would you say that in front of the client? Artem would not have been happy. You're becoming more and more like Artem. If he came along today, he might have been really happy. No. Really? No. Captain Morgan could just be making pleasantries. But at this moment, she feels an incredible urge to call Artem and tell him everything she's learned. This is wild. Yeah, this isn't a cute social blunder. She broke a lady's heart. Yeah. Until then, I should organize my thoughts. Sitting in the taxi, she looks at the name Mr. Wing on her phone, but she doesn't press the call button. The street lamps outside the window flash by quickly, the dots of the light converging into a line. At the same time, her mind gradually becomes clear. The talisman was dropped from the window. What's strange is she saw him collapse by the workbench. If she could combine what she knows with bold speculation, he didn't know that Felicia Lowe would drop a talisman into the basement. He would be very surprised to find it after waking up. Crawling over to the talisman was probably the last thing he did. Oh my god. Oh no, we're gonna get another heartbreaking scene. Oh my god. After crawling painstakingly over to the window, he clutches the talisman tightly in his hand. Yeah, don't show me this. Don't make me read it.
여보.
여보. It's like my wife, like sweetheart. Oh. I don't like this game anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. Oh, this is worse than Phoenix Wright's first case. I don't know what that story is about. Oh, first game, last case. Oh no. I don't want to do this. Brad Grease knows that the police will be the first to arrive at the scene due to the vital signs bracelet. There's no need to hide such important evidence. And he knows better than anyone that Felicia isn't the killer. The only thing he could do, he tried to eat it. He deep-throated it himself. He was... Oh, earlier I said, like, there's no way unless he was trying to hide the evidence, like, but he was trying to hide the evidence. He was trying to eat it. Oh, no. It wasn't auto, I clicked, but... Brad Grease exhausts the last ounce of strength in his body to stuff the talisman into his mouth. He might have guessed what Felicia Lowell was trying to do, or perhaps he had lost the ability to think and found it hard to dwell on it. Oh, the auto-affixation. Yeah. But he must have realized that the talisman would easily make Felicia Lowell a suspect. Unable to muster up any more strength, the only option is to rely on stomach acid to corrode it beyond recognition. Except his death came earlier than he anticipated. This story. Yeah, he died while trying to swallow it. I mean, he must have used a lot of energy just trying to eat a piece of paper, right? He can barely breathe. Like the strength it would take to like swallow. Oh, so sad. I must share the speculation with Mr. Wing as soon as possible. Just as she's about to pick up her phone to send Artem a message. The taxi makes a sharp turn without warning. Felicia crying, he was always bad at swallowing. Caught off guard, her phone flies out of her hand and slides under the front seat. What happened? She looks out the window. Somewhere along the way, the light from the street lamps has disappeared, replaced by a dark field of grass. She hears the unbuckling of a seatbelt. By the time she turns around, the driver has already climbed over from the front and covered her nose and mouth with fabric. Her instinct is to fight back, but the choking sensation is accompanied by a pungent smell as she feels her consciousness gradually fading.